upstate.
Well, there was some chatter about it on the stream yesterday, Diesel. You can tell people are already getting fired up. Our high school football preview shows begin tomorrow and Friday. We did them last year, and we'll do them again this year. In case you have not heard, in case you did not know, high school football preview shows tomorrow and Friday this week happening right here on Wire to Wire with Greenville County taking center stage tomorrow, Spartanburg County on Friday. We will be slammed wire to wire with coaches from Greenville County and Spartanburg County both days. So if you're a high school football fan, make sure you tune in, tell your friends that are also high school football fans as well. We're excited about that the next 2 days. Big Ten Media Days rolling on, Diesel, as we are going to get to some audio in this segment later in the show as well from Chicago, Illinois. Are you a Chicago deep dish pizza kind of guy?
True Chicago deep dish is basically pizza toppings in a bread bowl. Like, it's basically lasagna in a bread bowl. You know, if you go to the restaurant that's just on the other side of the radio station here, about a quarter mile that way, they have soup in a bread bowl, and you're supposed to eat the bread bowl after you. That's what Chicago deep dish pizza really is.
You got to use a fork sometimes.
You should use a spoon at that point.
Yeah, I like it, of course. I mean, like, I don't turn down any pizza, but I'm a New York guy over Chicago any day.
Totally.
Any day of the week.
And we can forget about this rigmarole of Detroit-style pizza.
Well, you know
That's
why?
Ridiculous.
You know why it's a proven fact that New York style is better than Chicago style pizza? The proven fact, if anybody has any debate, is that if you drive around Greenville or Spartanburg or Anderson, you can find plenty of establishments, Diesel, that sell New York style pizza.
Yeah,
they're everywhere. The best. How many establishments sell Chicago style pizza? I can't name one.
Do any of our Tolos know of a single Chicago's, like a true Chicago deep dish pizza available
in the upstate?
Not like a pan pizza that's like an inch thick. That's not deep dish. That's not Chicago style. Not really.
Just Google it and see if there's any. Again, it's hard. Like I don't see many. I'm sure there's one or two places in the upstate that sell deep dish, but no, I don't think there's many, and that's my whole point. It's just not as good.
It's trash pizza.
And I also think it's more difficult to make, too. I think I'm not a pizza connoisseur, but I do love pizza. I'll eat deep dish. I've been to Chicago one time. I have no problem with it, but I prefer the New York style or somewhere meet in the middle.
So I used to watch those, those cooking shows or those restaurant shows, the diners, dive-ins, type shows. And they went to Chicago. They were showing off some famous Chicago deep dish restaurant. And what you do, Cole, is you order your pie, and it's not a pie anymore, it's a bowl. You order it while you're outside of the restaurant before you even sit down, because it takes like 45 minutes to an hour to bake this thing, so that by the time your pizza is almost ready to come out of the oven, there's a table available for you. Otherwise, you'd just be sitting at the table for over an hour.
You got to pre-order.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about that. Maybe that's why. Maybe that right there is why as many restaurants around here and wherever don't go with the Chicago deep dish, because it takes so long. You can't just order it and get a slice right there. I mean, that's interesting.
That's just like a big bowl of marinara sauce, though.
Diesel, the Big Ten Media Days, they're rolling on, and we are going to get into a conversation in this segment that we did not have time to get into yesterday. Every segment I had planned yesterday just blew up, which was great. It was great radio. And again, appreciate Cocky for a reason and that peach cobbler he brought last night. That was fantastic. Right?
I had another piece before I left the building yesterday.
It was good. Really good stuff there. But let's get to this. We tried to get to it yesterday. We'll do it today. And Tolos, want to hear from you at 844-326-3663. It's Joy Law Firm text line. Phone line's also open as well. I want to know from you. I want to know from the Tolos out there, especially our Tolos who are fans of teams in the Big Ten, the Michigans, the Purdue's, Purdue fan. I don't know if they're Purdue fans in South Carolina or not.
You fans of championship football?
Yes, Ohio State, Indiana. I don't know how many Indiana fans there are out there. But here's the question. I pose this to you and the audience today on this Wednesday, this hump day. How do the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten stack up against the best quarterbacks in other conferences? You and I were in Charlotte for ACC kickoff a couple of weeks back. ACC's got a couple pretty good quarterbacks in the conference this year. One of them transferred to an in-conference team, obviously staying in Florida or staying in the ACC down in Florida in Darian Mensah. But when you look at the SEC's top quarterbacks, you look at the Big 12's top quarterbacks in the Atlantic Coast Conference, they're top quarterbacks, Diesel. How do we think these quarterbacks, I'm talking about Julian Sayin, talking about Josh Hoover, who we don't know a lot about right now. Josh Hoover's at Indiana. Dante Moore, we know a lot about him at Oregon, right?
Talented guy.
We'll see about the Jaden Miava guy at USC. Jury's still out. Bryce Underwood, Michigan. We'll see how these guys play when the season starts, but it feels like it's a very, very top-heavy Big Ten quarterback group. Not to disrespect the other guys out there by any means. But
right, I mean, there's a reason why the stars are the stars, and there's always a B level. How deep does that A level go?
I don't think it goes very deep.
How deep does it really go? I mean, would we consider, the fifth best quarterback in the SEC to be an A level quarterback?
And that's the thing. That's where we go. That's this conversation. Right down that road we go, Diesel. Where do these, like Julian Sayin's A level, right? Dante Moore, of course, is A level, top tier. Do we really know, like Josh Hoover in Indiana? Do we really know enough about Josh Hoover and what he'll look like in this offense?
No.
To say that he's A level, I think the jury's still out a little bit.
I mean,
he could be now. He could be.
We know what he was at TCU, and he was he produced a lot of yards, right? He produced over 9,000 yards in his 3 seasons, so he's a 3,000 plus yard averaging quarterback per season. Yeah. So that puts you in a higher category. Good. Whether or not we consider that an A-level quarterback, we'll figure that out.
Shane Barrett gets in. He says Hoover's going to be good in Indiana. They brought in Nick Marsh from Michigan State. Marsh is a baller. To your point there last year or the last few years, Diesel, about Josh Hoover and TCU, the now Hoosier, Hoover the Hoosier, is coming into 2026 off of a season last year where he threw for 3,472 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 13 picks across 12 games, 65.9% completion percentage. Pretty good. He ranked 16th nationally in terms of passing yards. And I said the word season because you said he's been at TCU for what was he there? 3
years.
So long. A lot of people are maybe holding their breath on Cignetti again at Indiana. But he was able to go out and get a guy like Fernando Mendoza, bring him in, develop him. Who's to say that Cignetti doesn't do it again with Josh Hoover? Who's to say that Cignetti didn't find the diamond in the rough out in Fort Worth, Texas, and bring in this guy in Josh Hoover all of a sudden for his stars to shine?
The thing that he's got to do with Josh Hoover is he's got to bring the interceptions down. If he can just fix that, this team has a chance to be really, really good. I mean, Fernando Mendoza took such good care of the ball. Now, I don't know how many 2023 at Cal, he attempted 243 passes. Okay, he only played in 9 games. Now, you compare that to 2024 at Cal, he threw 386 passes and 379 passes last year at Indiana. So those are 2 comparable seasons for as far as how much he was used and how much he was asked to throw the football. He went from 10 interceptions in 2023 down to 6 in 24, 6 in 2025. Touchdown numbers went through the roof. Interception numbers were already super low. So it's not like Kurt Cignetti's system kept Fernando Mendoza's passes safer. He was already really good at that. So if Josh Hoover can keep his passing numbers where they are, his yardage numbers where they are, but bring those interception numbers down, I think he's going to be really good.
And I think that's so interesting because we all believe in Cignetti. We all know what he did. Mm-hmm. But it's like I said the other day, there's a few of us, including me, and it's not fair, but we're kind of holding our breath to see if he can do it again. Now, we talked about, we think they'll be a playoff team. We think they'll be very good, but Kurt Cignetti transformed Indiana, and Fernando Mendoza was such a big part of it. Can Josh Hoover live up to those same-ish expectations? Maybe that's unfair because Fernando was fantastic, but at the same time, you said it, 3 years, pretty good stats, high on the turnovers, but he's very seasoned. He's seen a lot of college football. Veteran guy. He's a senior, 6'2", 200 pounds. So with that being said, do we say he's tier A? I mean, compared to a likes of Dante Moore and Julian Sayin?
I wouldn't put him there yet. So because you do still have to see him in this system. It's not on the list of options here, but he'd be tier 1B, right? I mean, you think he's going to be good, but you just don't know until you see him play for Cursignetti.
Different system.
Correct.
Different system. And I think I'm with you on that. So if he's tier B, the Big Ten's kind of top heavy, Diesel. We've got Julian Sayin and Dante Moore in tier A. We're putting Josh Hoover in tier B. Before we start comparing conferences, that's what I'm saying, man. You go look. Is Jaden Miava tier B as well? I mean, are there only 2 quarterbacks in the Big Ten that are tier A quarterbacks?
Well,
I think so. I think unless you put Bryce Underwood up there.
I know this, it rubbed the texter wrong the other day to keep going back to Phil Steele's magazine. But if you look at his preseason Big Ten first, second, third, and fourth team quarterbacks, he's got Dante Moore listed as his first team quarterback.
Yeah.
From Oregon. Julian Sayin of Ohio State, second team. Jaden Mayava of USC, third team. And DeMond Williams from Washington, fourth team. So at the very least, he's got Josh Hoover as the 5th best quarterback in the league preseason.
Yeah. And again, that doesn't mean everything, but it does mean something. I think DeMond Williams could have a good season. He's got the intangibles. I watched him a couple of times last year, and he is really athletic. He's really, really athletic. And I think you could see, like when you talk about Washington and Jed Fish, I think they could surprise some people just in terms of how well he plays this year. We'll see. I think he's got a high ceiling. He's 5'11", 191, a little bit of a smaller guy, but he's athletic as you know what.
I think he's got a little bit to prove here, after the debacle that was his attempt to transfer and leave Washington after signing his NIL contract, which we're going to get into that situation going on down in Ole Miss in the very next segment. So coming up here in about 10 minutes or so. But I hope that after that situation and after him coming out and saying, you know what, I made a mistake. I was listening to the wrong people. I love it here at Washington. I hope that motivates him to find a little extra gear.
Maybe it does. So the question is, Shane, those listening, those interacting, Diesel, you as well, these quarterbacks, we've kind of stacked them up in tiers. Where do they stack up when it comes to other conferences out there? Where do they stack up? Do you feel as if the Big Ten quarterback play is as good as the ACC? Let's start there.
Okay.
You and I were in Charlotte. We talked to several quarterbacks. You've got some pretty solid quarterbacks in the ACC. When you compare the two, just Big Ten or Big Ten versus ACC, do you give an edge to the ACC just off the cuff? I think in my mind, I give a little bit of an edge to the ACC. A little bit.
Overall, I mean, you're talking
top of the best.
You're talking Darian Mensah, Kevin Jennings, CJ Bailey, Mason Heinschel.
Yeah.
I'm giving the edge overall to the Big Ten. I think the world of Darian Mensah. I think the world of Kevin Jennings. But there's 4 quarterbacks on this list, or 3 quarterbacks on this list in the Big Ten that I think could be better.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. The ACC certainly. So I'm going to go. You're going Big Ten. So you're
going Big Ten.
Yeah, I think the ACC stacks up a little bit better. And Darian Mensah, I think Darian Mensah is he better than Dante Moore? Maybe not. But I think when you look at Dante Moore, I think Dante Moore's in a class of his own in the Big Ten. And that's no disrespect to Julian Sayin. I think Julian Sayin's a really good quarterback. He's young. He had some growing to do, and I think he'll continue to get better in 2026, Diesel. But if you look at collectively, I really think Darian Mensah and Kevin Jennings together, that's a really good 1-2 punch. And Julian Sayin's got as strong of an arm as anybody in college football. I get that. I'm not saying that Kevin Jennings is better than Julian Sayin, but when you get past those guys, you throw in CJ Bailey, I think there's an argument to be made that the ACC holds their own when it comes to comparing the best quarterbacks in the ACC versus the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. There's some unknowns, obviously, in both conferences still, Diesel, but Let's see what that old guy up there at Syracuse does, what he has to say. He's a pretty good quarterback, and he got hurt last year, and they had a pretty rough year after he got hurt. But I think there's some quarterbacks in this conference. I'm interested to see Lincoln Kienholz at Louisville. I think there's some quarterbacks in this conference. They may not be better on paper right now than the Big Ten, but I think there's some that have a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah, I'm in wait-and-see mode with C.J. Bailey. I know that he's tall. I know that he's physically impressive. I know that he's insanely talented. I know these things.
Yeah.
But does he win at the highest level? Right? I mean, you can be a great player on a weak team, and what does that mean? Right? I mean, if you were not good enough to elevate your team into something that they could never be without you, then you don't get a lot of benefit of the doubt from me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think of it the same way with the quarterback situation down at South Carolina. You know, eventually Lenore Sellers has got to, as he's progressing into his senior year, he's got to take another step and win more football games.
Yeah.
That's harder to do in the SEC than it is in any other conference, but still you could be the second coming of Joe Namath playing at Marshall.
Yeah.
But what does that mean if Marshall's not winning football games?
No, winning is important, and that's why it's tough to compare quarterbacks. That's the same conversation we have when we compare great basketball players, Diesel, or great quarterbacks. If you're talking about winning being an attribute that defines their legacy and greatness, then yeah, that definitely comes into play. If you're talking about just straight up quarterback for quarterback, skill set versus skill set, there's a little bit of a different vibe there, right? There's a little bit of a different conversation if you don't factor the winning into the conversation, into the argument. How does the Big Ten stack up against the best quarterbacks from the SEC? You've got Arch Manning, you've got Trinidad Chambliss, you've got Gunnar Stockton, you've got Marcel Reed. I'm going to sound like an SEC homer here. I don't think it does. Again, I love Dante Moore and Julian Sayin, but
yeah,
Marcel Reed is fourth team according to Phil Steele, and Marcel Reed's a dude.
Marcel Reed would be the number one quarterback in the ACC if he transferred there.
Probably.
Or number two quarterback in the ACC.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the tops of these conferences, it's kind of like our normal conversation about these conferences in general, where the tops of the conferences are pretty good and can play with one another. But once you get past number one and number two, they just don't have the same depth that the SEC has.
Let's go back past the depth or past the top a little bit and look at the depth when you talk about the Big Ten comparing to the SEC. Gunnar Stockton is on a team deal that's predicted to finish first by Phil Steele, but Gunnar Stockton is third team according to Phil Steele when it comes to quarterbacks. He's got Arch Manning and Trinidad Chambliss above Gunnar Stockton, and maybe that's true. Then you have Arch Manning, right? Let's go to Alabama. Keelan Russell, the freshman, the redshirt freshman. I think he's got a lot of upside. John Mateer, a name we haven't even thrown out there yet. John Mateer, how good was he last year? Not perfect, but a really good quarterback.
I think he has a chance to take a step this year.
And
be even better.
The guy whose name starts with a Trina and ends with a dad, maybe he's the best quarterback in the SEC. You talked about Marcel Reed there, but Trinidad Chambliss, man, I think you've got 5-6 quarterbacks that are studs in the SEC. Mm-hmm. And I think the SEC, again, I know I sound like SEC homer here, but I think when it comes to quarterback, I think the SEC's got the best quarterback.
Well, you're not an SEC homer, Cole. You're a Clemson homer.
Well,
based on that totally realistic photo that I posted on Twitter last night.
Yes.
Very real, very, very real, not doctored in any way. If anyone hasn't seen it, go on Diesel on Radio, on Twitter. But there's this wild photo of Cole riding a real actual tiger, wearing a Clemson shirt, singing the alma mater, wearing his Dabo Sweeney underwear. Yeah. I mean, how much more homer could you get? And then it's, again, not doctored. It's completely real. 100% real.
I love that. I love the picture, by the way. It depends. When you say SEC homer, Clemson homer, Diesel, you and I have been doing sports radio long enough to know it all depends on what the listener's agenda is that day.
Yeah.
I may be a Clemson homer yesterday, but today I might be a Gamecock homer. If a Clemson fan gets mad at something I said, that's just the way sports radio is.
Hey, you're not doing it right if both sides are not calling you a homer. If only one side is calling you a homer, then you might be a homer.
Shane Barrett says he's going with the Big Ten over the ACC. He sides with you there, Diesel. Stephen Webb says, you're right, Cole. Christopher Vazina is an elite quarterback with the laughing emoji there. Didn't go there. We'll see. We'll see on Vazina. I think the jury's...
You didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that. But again, that's how listeners are. You say, you make up things, right? Whatever you can do.
It's
Look,
true.
we didn't bring up Vizina there because we don't know. He has not started a full season. He played a little bit last year and he started one game, but we just don't know with Vizina. And Diesel, six weeks into the season, could he be that dude?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe so. Maybe by week 6, we're like, oh, Vizina's top 3, top 4 quarterback in the ACC, but we just don't have anything to base that off of right now. And I think that's why it's tough. Again, I don't have anything against Vizina at all. In fact, I've told you this, Diesel. I think he's going to be better than people think. I do. I think he'll be better than people think with those weapons.
There it is. There's the home risk.
Well, the weapons he has. I mean, my God, how can you not be that good when you have the weapons that he has? At wide receiver. If he's not good this year with those weapons, oh, come on. What are we doing here? I mean, It doesn't take a Deshaun Watson to be good with those 3 receivers. That's all I'm saying. I think he'll be fine.
If he's not good with those wide receivers, it blows another hole in the Dabo Swinney narrative. When he said, we're not going to go out there and chase the shiny quarterback. We're not going to go out there and get somebody like that. We like who we have.
Blows that up bad.
Blows that up badly, and it's just another really bad look for Dabo Swinney. But we'll get into that a little bit later on as well, because I got an article, Cole, here from USA Today of a reporter taking shots at Dabo Swinney. Got audio of Joel Klatt taking shots at Dabo Swinney and comparing him, this is the article, comparing him to an SEC coach that is now in the unemployment line. Really interesting. We're going to talk about that, play it back. That's coming up at 4 o'clock. But on the other side of the break, Ole Miss is doing what now? And do they expose themselves if they're successful in this attempt? We'll talk about it next.
Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Oh, trying to play some audio here. We'll try it one more time, see if we can get it squared away. From Big Ten Media Days.
No. Pedicure. No. Pedicure. I heard that.
He loves pedicures.
Oh, really?
That's his favorite extra thing to do. So every 2 weeks in the football season, John loves to get a pedicure.
Ooh, poor John. I bet he's getting beat up over that a little bit.
I would have guaranteed that he was an offensive guy, and I read up and he's not an offensive guy, which is a little bit disappointing to me.
You just heard the voices of Luke Fickell, of Lincoln Riley, and of John Summerall's wife, Jenny, who called him out, put him on blast, and told the world that John Summerall during the football season gets a pedicure every other week.
Yeah, I wonder how that conversation is going to go when he gets home, I mean, look, if you're for it, stand up and have no shame in it, right? But that's it. It's perfect that it came out when it did, just to give coaches a little something to talk about.
Big Ten and SEC, they've been going back and forth at each other for the last couple of days. Who's better? Who's deeper? Who's got more titles? Who hasn't won one in the last 3 years? Whose coaches get pedicures? I mean, I wonder, I've gotten a pedicure before.
Yeah.
You've gotten one before.
I have one. Yeah.
I got mine for fun, right? I didn't need one for any medical reason.
No shame.
It's just nice.
I had an ingrown toenail really bad, and it was bad, like real bad. And I had to go get one. And no, you're right. I mean, I did not hate it. It was not miserable. I didn't like when they scrubbed your feet. That was kind of
tickle.
It tickles.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on.
So that was the one time I got a pedicure. I had an ingrown toenail, but like I said, men that do it, I don't judge men that do it. No problem.
I don't have the money to be getting, twice a month pedicures.
Was it like $30, $40, something like that?
I mean, I guess it's when you're a head coach in the SEC.
What's the pedicure?
You got the money to go do it, I guess. But yeah, that was one of the fun little bits of audio that came out of Big Ten Media Days yesterday, where John Summerall was outed for getting regular pedicures. Do any of our Tolos get pedicures?
It's coming in already.
Oh, how about
Look
that?
Look at Shane.
Shane Barrett says, look, I'm not going to lie. Pedicures are great, but this is bad for old Johnny. John Summerall's already got an elite recruiting class for 2027. Mm-hmm. We'll see how his record goes this year. I have every reason to believe that Florida's going to be better this year than they have been in the past. Not to make this segment about Florida here, Cole, but, just going up and down their schedule, can they be better than 4 wins this year? They got Florida Atlantic, Campbell, at Auburn, Ole Miss, at Missouri, South Carolina, at Texas, Georgia. That game's a neutral site game in Atlanta. Oklahoma, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Florida State. I think they're going better than 4-8 this year.
Oh, there's a good chance. Good chance. By the way, Steven on Facebook gets in. He says, what's wrong with a pedicure? I get them often when I treat my wife and daughter. Yeah. Just make it a threefer. Yeah, thank you. I was looking for a new word there.
So things are getting a little weird, Cole, down in Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss is taking legal action against 2 of its former players that are now with Lane Kiffin down at LSU. And this is fascinating. We'll dig into this here in this segment, but I wonder, does winning in these 2 cases expose them to be sued by Clemson down the road? I mean, this whole battle over Luke Farrelly, and when exactly did he sign his rev share agreements? That's really what all of this comes down to. But Ole Miss is taking legal action against 2 former players, Princewell Umanmielen and Devin Harper, filing separate breach of contract lawsuits after alleging both failed to satisfy financial obligations in their rev sharing agreements before transferring to LSU. Seen a lot of fans online saying, hey guys, just let it go. They're not on your team anymore. Stop coming after them. It's about $1 million that they're going after, 500 from one of them, 400,000 from another one, saying, hey, just let it go. They're on another team now. But if Ole Miss feels morally justified, and if they win, Cole, that's what's interesting here. I don't think they will, but if they win, basically you're approaching the territory of buyouts.
Yeah, and what I thought was funny on this story, before we get back to some comments on the stream, I just thought it was funny when I saw this come across my timeline. Was it this morning or last night? That Ole Miss was the team that was upset about this, and they're the ones suing ex-players. And I just laughed. It's just funny. College sports have a way nowadays to just make you laugh and think there is no jurisdiction. There is like this team, hey, I'm going to shoot you with my 38 old-style Western revolver, but when you shoot at me, I want you shooting at me.
Right.
I'm going to go to the sheriff when you shoot at me. It's like Ole Miss. You're the one that's suing ex-players.
You've just gone through this with Clemson, and Pete Golding was kind of a jerk about it. Kind of told Dabo to stay in his lane, shut up, don't worry about it, leave it alone. Remember, Cole, that something like this was tried before, not exactly in the rev sharing space, but the NIL space. Georgia tried something like this back in December of last year, involving former edge rusher Damon Wilson II after he transferred to Missouri. He signed a $500,000 NIL contract that would have run through early this year. The University of Georgia Athletic Association filed a petition in Georgia State Court seeking to enforce a $390,000 liquidated damages clause in the contract. Later in December, Wilson filed a countersuit arguing the agreement was unenforceable and alleged Georgia improperly interfered with his ability to negotiate with other schools. So that was surrounding an NIL contract. This one is surrounding rev share. One is coming from rich donors who are throwing money into one big pot. The other is coming from state institutions and their federally required revenue sharing apparatus.
Yeah, real quick on the stream, Justin gets in. He says on Facebook, a Florida fan I know thinks they're going 1-11. What a guy that is. Shane Barrett says, also, what the heck is Brett Bielema on saying that the SEC likes to live in 2005? Shane, evidently you missed it. We talked about that yesterday. And you're right on the Brett Bielema thing real quick. I mean, it was kind of cheesy, especially given the fact that Diesel, when he was in the SEC, I think he had a record of like 9-26 as a head coach. So he wasn't very successful in the SEC. And look, is it okay to poke fun? Sure. That's what it's talking season right now. But
yeah,
you're right.
Stuff.
Brett Bielema, kind of the guy that's like other coaches in the SEC are looking at him thinking, dude, what are you just sit back down.
Thanks for the wins, Brett.
Yeah.
You can sit this one out, pal.
Yeah, no need to. This is interesting though. I think this is bigger than Ole Miss. We talked about this a million times. Schools are entering an era. We've already entered the era where signing contracts, can be tied to rev sharing in certain ways. And how many times did you and I say on this show that becoming employees of the school would be just so much easier and cleaner? But what happens if courts uphold these agreements? I think that's where it becomes sticky. And
I think they should. Courts should absolutely uphold these agreements.
Does that reduce like the free agency mantra that we have in our heads of what's going on right now in college athletics? If the courts uphold it, does it make it feel less like free agency in a way?
Well, it will, right? I mean, I think we're at a point where, and as we've been talking for the last couple of weeks about Major League Baseball and the concept of salary caps and how much power the Major League Baseball Players Association has. We're entering a phase of college football, Cole, where the players are in the exact same position, where the players hold all the power. And for example, two players, as a matter of fact here, can go and sign a contract to get paid by a state institution as required by law that they be paid by the state. And this is not voluntary, okay? This is required by law. That they can sign a contract, agree to stay on campus or on this roster for X amount of time to do A, B, C, and D, and then say, nah, I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to enter the transfer portal and I'm going to go. I mean, it all comes back to the concept of what are we teaching these kids if we're not teaching them that your word, that a contract, that a signature is binding.
Yeah, and then and the coaches, I don't think they care. I don't think they care. Now,
coaches want to keep their rosters together.
Well, and in terms of, I don't think they care about the part of kids holding to their word. Like they say they do. Again, we talked about this yesterday. They say they care about this stuff. They don't really care. If athletes want to be paid like professionals, Diesel,
they should have to act like it.
They should have to kind of hold up to the professional level of service, and a professional level of services the transfer portal allowing players to leave freely despite rev sharing agreements. What world do we live in? So it just goes back to structure. There's no structure. There's no what do we have in place to prevent this? And if you're a fan of the sport and you're okay with that happening, like if a player Diesel does leave, despite them having a rev share agreement, which is in that contract. I mean, what are we doing here?
Now we're talking parsing legal words here.
So again, they're under contract, right? Am I missing something there?
Sounds like a contract.
Sounds
to me.
like it, an agreement, contract. Yeah, they sign it. It's a contract.
We school promise to pay you X if you player promise to stay on campus on our roster for X amount of time.
Yep, and it's just one of those stories that we just sprinkle in now to shows and on ESPN, and it's just like it's a side effect almost. When you have an illness, you have all these side effects, and you know what? We have medicine out there that we just kind of become used to the side effects sometimes, and that's where we are with college athletics. All of these side effects, these stories that just pop up here, here. Brendan Sorsby, this, that. We as fans are almost making ourselves acclimated to the side effects of college sports. And I think most fans, Diesel, are just okay with the side effects. The side effects are fine.
I'm not okay with it.
No big deal.
I don't want to be okay with it, and people can't make me be okay with it. So here's the timeline of how this went down. This is why Ole Miss is upset. Now, this is the timeline for Harper, and the timeline for Uman Mielen is similar. It's not exactly the same, but here's how it went down. January 6th of 2025, Harper signed a rev share agreement with Ole Miss. Of 2026. January 14th, Harper enters the transfer portal. January 16th, Harper signs with LSU. Also on January 16th, University of Mississippi sends a letter to Harper requesting payment, to which Harper didn't respond. March 12th, Mississippi contacts LSU requesting payment on Harper's behalf. This is where it gets fun, right? Ole Miss said, we're not able to collect from the players, so we're going to try to collect from the university that accepted him as a transfer.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Cash is cash.
A couple days later, on March 18th, LSU denies payment, stating, we're not a party to that contract. We're not involved. Why do we have to pay? Flash forward to 2 days ago, July 27th, Ole Miss files suit for breach of contract and contacted both Harper and LSU requesting payment to avoid additional costs. Again, the timeline for Princewell, Uman Mielen is similar but not identical. Ole Miss is seeking about $1 million between the two players, approximately $900,000 for breaking their rev share agreements.
How much?
$900K. And you're saying to yourself,
I'm just thinking that,
they've left you.
Yeah.
Like, is this cost of doing business now?
That's what I was thinking.
You got, and this is just for two players, by the way. Imagine if it's more players who signed agreements and you got 5 players who are transferring away. When a coach leaves, and we were talking about Penn State the other day, like 12 guys followed Matt Campbell over to Penn State. Do you really think Iowa State is going to sue 12 guys and have to eat, potentially $4 or $5 million on these guys' contracts if they signed them?
That's tough, man. That's tough.
And to me, like I said, this opens up Ole Miss. If they're successful here, it does two things. It basically creates the early structure of buyouts. LSU's got to pay the buyout if they want to bring Uman Mielen and Harper over. But also, Clemson could then sue Ole Miss for bringing Luke Ferrelli over, right?
Yeah,
it sounds like they could.
You would think. Diesel, before we run to a break, things just absolutely catastrophic for the Braves right now, losing 3-2, top of the ninth, 2 outs in the doubleheader today to the New York Mets, who have a really bad losing record. They're down to their final out with Dubon on first. Austin Riley's at the plate. He is 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts.
We thought he was back.
Yeah, that is a major surprise, right? Austin Riley doing Austin Riley type things. So Austin Riley at the plate for the Braves. We'll see what happens here. The Braves have a prime opportunity to continue to add to this division lead. The Phillies are tanking. They've lost like 3-4 series in a row now. Haven't won a series since the All-Star break, and you have an opportunity. There it goes, final. Austin Riley grounds out. 3-2 final score. The Mets win. So the Mets have already won the series with the Atlanta Braves. And the series will conclude, obviously. Let's see. Is that right? One more game today, and then The series concludes today. The Braves play the Nationals in a 4-game stint starting tomorrow. So the Braves had an opportunity, Diesel, to take a series against a terrible team in the Mets, and they've lost 2 of 3, game 3, trying to avoid the sweep later today. A pathetic showing from the Atlanta Braves as the Phillies continue to lose to the Miami Marlins. Are you kidding me? They lost today 8-6. You had a prime opportunity. What are the Braves doing? Let's get into my guy, Tony Romo. Some audio's out, Diesel. Some audio's out about Tony Romo, or from Tony Romo's
arresting
officer. DUI. Was it a DUI? That they claimed it a DUI yet?
DWI, driving while intoxicated.
So audio from that encounter with Tony Romo. Was he in the, well, of course he was in the wrong, but what do you think about this audio? We'll play it next. Well, Diesel, Tony Romo was in a little bit of a pickle. We talked about it. And Tony Romo was arrested recently for a DWI. And the audio is quite fascinating. The audio of him being pulled over like on the bridge is not great audio, so I'm not going to play that. They took him to what looks like a parking garage. Mm-hmm. You've seen that. Is that what it looks like to you? Like a parking garage or underneath the bridge, maybe?
I've only heard these laid over with some other video footage.
Gotcha. And one of them, I got it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say funny because it's not funny having a DWI, but Tony Romo being questioned by police. We'll get to a couple of clips of audio here. Listen and react, Tolos. You never thought the CBS man would be in this predicament? Huh? Well, here's Tony Romo.
You will do 9, okay?
He's stretching, by the way.
Sorry, guys. 2 back
1,
surgeries.
2. Hi there. Deputy Corin, Milwaukee
So,
County Sheriff's Office.
The first part was him stretching, okay? Here's audio. Let's see if it's clear enough to play of him actually being stopped, okay? I'm going to fast or rewind a little bit.
Were you speaking on the speaker back there?
I was.
I didn't even know you guys had that. So sorry.
All right. Reason for my stop today. Yep.
That was what you said.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Reason for my stop today is the unsafe passing on the right, the lane
Say
deviation.
it louder. I'm sorry.
Unsafe passing on the right, cutting across the gore. Obviously, the gore,
Yes.
it's the marked area.
Gotcha. Hey,
Where are you coming from?
the golf course. And I'm going to meet Grandma and Grandpa.
Okay. All right. I'll take the driver's license from you.
You got it.
How many drinks have you had?
0 is what he
Coming from
said.
a golf course?
I'm playing the golf tournament in Wisconsin State Amateur.
Okay. I'm going to run you through some fields.
What's that mean?
Field sobriety tests. Are you willing to take any field sobriety tests?
So he asked to call his lawyer, Diesel. She does not let him call his lawyer. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the situation when you are pulled over, if you're allowed to immediately call your lawyer or not. I know that.
Maybe it's state law in
know.
Wisconsin, whether you can or can't.
I don't know. I know at some point, obviously, you get the chance to call a lawyer, but
Yeah.
She wasn't having it. She said, no, step out, step out, step out. Now, here's the audio from when they went back. It looks like it's a parking garage.
Did I pass this test?
You turn around.
No, I didn't. Huh?
Where are you coming from?
So that was the same one I played. Let me click the other one. Sorry about that. He, did I pass this test? No, you did not. And she immediately puts him in cuffs. I don't know, Diesel, what to make of this. I really don't know what to make of it. Obviously, he was in the wrong for driving while intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
But these situations, I think, are so fragile, with law enforcement. I just feel like every situation, it's every law enforcement officer is going to be different, how they react. Some are going to talk nice to you. Some are going to be a-holes about it.
Man, if only he had, President Trump's phone number like Tiger did. Remember Tiger called? He's like, hang on.
Let me call the president. That's good.
So I Googled in Wisconsin, are you allowed to call a lawyer during a traffic stop? And it says no. Officers do not have to pause standard questioning, document checks, or field sobriety tests so that you can reach out to counsel. It might have been a smart thought, a smart idea from Tony at the time.
Not the right time, though.
Yeah, maybe he thought we don't know what he was thinking. Did he think that, hey, if I just invoke the word lawyer, that the officer will stand down and sort of give me time to collect my thoughts here? If it was state law in Wisconsin to do this, maybe the lawyer would have said, hey, don't do anything. Don't take a field sobriety test. And my understanding is that he didn't take the field sobriety test where he was pulled over.
Yeah, it was on top of a bridge.
Yeah, it was on a bridge.
And
it
she
was
said
dangerous.
it was an uneven surface.
Yes.
So they had to go down. More audio here.
There's a lot of people who I have heard have gotten DWIs and DUIs thrown out because they took their field sobriety test on an uneven surface.
God, I never heard of that.
Yeah.
Brought the backpack that you wanted. We basically do not an inventory, but I make sure that
You
there's
guys
no
check the
guns in
whole
there.
thing? Yeah.
Exactly.
So you guys check.
And there were a few shooters in there that I observed.
Yeah. Any of them drank?
Okay.
So let's pause.
Any of them drank.
She says there were a few shooters.
Yep.
Many bottles.
Yeah.
And his response was, any of them drank.
I mean, it's a valid
kind of
question.
Valid, right? Kind of
were
valid.
any of them empty? Had I drunk any of them?
Were they empty? Yeah. Were they empty bottles or not?
In there that I observed.
Yeah. Any of them drink?
Okay.
I do an exercise.
Go ahead, dude.
So now he's exercising. I think this is where she asked him about the surgery.
Any head injuries?
Oh, here you go.
Excuse me?
Any head injuries recently? Any concussions?
Well, over the years, yes, but not recently. No, we're
You
trying not to.
willing to submit to a PBT
What is that?
machine that you blow on?
Oh,
By
no,
test.
we're not doing that.
Okay.
I've already heard from all the lawyers, don't ever do that.
Okay.
So, did I pass this test?
You turn around.
No, I didn't. Huh? Can I use my phone real quick? Because there's a plane taking off.
You're
My
under
parents are
arrest for
Okay.
operating
We'll
while
get to
under the
that.
influence. Okay.
So long story short, they put him in cuffs on the bridge, put him in cuffs again under the bridge, and he was arrested. Not able to talk his way. I don't want to say he was trying to talk his way out of it.
Yeah.
Like he didn't name drop the you know who I am.
If they were in Texas, they'd have gone and bought him a beer.
Maybe.
But in Wisconsin,
They don't care.
they don't care that you're Tony Romo, right?
And that
They don't
lady
care.
probably don't know who Tony Romo is, you know?
Might not.
She
It's very
probably
good- yeah.
don't. So
Very good point.
old Tony behind bars, I think he probably got out. We'll see if anything
tried to-
comes of it.
You can tell he was definitely trying to charm his way out of it.
Smiling the whole
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
When we come back, Cole, let's talk Clemson Tigers and Dabo Swinney taking shots from multiple outlets at the same time. Cole, what did Dabo ever do to upset the college football world? Well, we'll play the Joel Klatt audio, and then we'll talk about this article from USA Today, and basically just answer the question: is it fair? Is it fair for Dabo Swinney to be taking this heat right now? That's on the other side of the break. Dabo Swinney is taking heat, Cole, from all over right now. He got bashed in a USA Today article. We'll get into that here in just a second. Got compared to a football coach at one of our listeners' favorite universities that is out playing a lot of golf right now because he's not employed, and he's getting it from Joel Klatt. This is Joel Klatt from the Joel Klatt Show. I listen to his show quite a bit. I think he's pretty good. Let's hear what he has to say about Dabo Swinney. Let's see here. Let's hear what he has to say.
Didn't go well last year. Started number 4 in the preseason. I wasn't the only one hot on Clemson. They started number 4. Finished 7-6. Guys, what are we doing? Clemson has not finished in the top 10 since Trevor Lawrence.
Gosh.
That was 5 seasons. Dabo's in his 18th full year at Clemson. He's been heavily criticized for not adapting to the new world of college football. He has slowly come around. I think Clemson fans at this point are saying to themselves, we like you, but... So that's the category he falls into. We like you, but... There is a huge pressure point for Dabo. Miami in their 5th game. Now, they've got LSU. It could be LSU. You might be right. But Miami's in conference. And Clemson has run the ACC. Run it. They have dominated the ACC. Now it seems like Miami's conference, and you start to wonder to yourself, what's the gap?
It feels like Miami's conference. Joel Klatt says Clemson is toast. It feels like Miami's conference. He also says Clemson fans. That's not our experience. I don't know where he's getting that information, Cole. Our experience has seen very limited number of Clemson fans willing to throw that but in there.
Well, I think it depends what the but is, like what comes after the but. That's what it all comes down to. I've talked to, again, maybe not on this show, I've talked to friends of mine who are Clemson fans who have said but again, but what? But right. What? That but he needs to be fired? No, but he needs to start adapting more. Okay, well, he has. That doesn't take effect on the field immediately. Like that takes recruiting cycles, right? So I have heard some buts, but it just depends on what kind of buts they've been. What comes after the but?
Yeah, but here's what's interesting about that, Cole. They won't call in and say it on the radio. They won't call in and say it on a public forum, but they'll say it privately. And here's the thing. If they're saying Dabo Swinney needs to start changing, you're so far already behind the 8 ball. I mean, like Dabo needed to start changing 4 years ago. Yeah. And he has started changing. And we'll get into that a little bit here in this segment. But if Clemson fans, the diehards, I mean the ones that will never say anything bad about this program and about their beloved coach, are just now coming around to the idea that changes need to be made.
No, I don't think they are.
I think you're far behind the 8.
No, I don't think any fan, if they are, okay, there's a million fans out there. So let me not speak for all fans.
Sure.
I don't think fans are just now coming around to it. I think fans have known this for years now.
Okay.
That Dabo is not adapting to college football, has not adapted to, is starting to now. But again, is starting to now. It's like me going on a diet. If I start the diet today, I'm not going to be negative, or I'm not going to be down 50 pounds overnight, right? So Dabo starting a diet, in layman terms, Diesel, and in terms of being able to compare it to something that we see and something that's tangible. When you go on a diet, it takes time for that body to take effect. And Dabo, maybe he's starting to come around, but it's going to take recruiting cycles and transfer cycles and years, I think, a year or two at least, to see the fruits of that, if that's truly paying off, is my point.
Yeah, and we're in such a state of turmoil, Cole, that we don't know if actions that are being taken right now are even going to be viable actions in a few years from now, right? I mean, will the transfer portal still look the same? Will buyouts be a thing? Will employment be a thing? How will things change in the future? I'm giving Dabo a tiny modicum of credit here for doing what you and I said on this show that he should be doing last year, which is you got to change, you got to adapt, you got to update some things. I'm telling you, Cole, that the evidence is there, at least on paper at this point, And the Tolo who was here yesterday, who was mad at me for putting any stock whatsoever into the Phil Steele magazine, he's back at it again. He texted in a little while ago at 844 fan phone and said, Diesel, put the Steele Bible down. It's the information that we've got right now. On paper, you can look at the recruiting rankings that have happened this season or going into the 2027 class, that would suggest that the changes are working. It still has to play out.
Yeah.
We're still a year or 2 years or 3 years down the road from knowing for sure if these prospects pan out. But on paper, the recruiting rankings are there and things seem to be ticking back up.
They are, but the problem is, it's what I've said a million times this offseason on these airwaves. Those things on paper aren't played on Saturday. Like Dabo Swinney's judged by what happens on Saturdays. Dabo Swinney's judged against or about or by, sorry, I can't get my words there. Dabo Swinney is judged by what happens in Baton Rouge here in a few weeks, what happens against Miami. So I'm with you. And we've talked to Grayson Mann about it and other Clemson guests. Like, I think that's why it's difficult right now to have this conversation, because all of these things, like I'm eating right. I've cut out my sugars. I've cut out my teas. I've cut out my donuts for 4 days now, for 5 days, 6 days, but I'm still not, I'm still not skinny. I'm not toned down yet. It takes a while. I keep going back to the diet comparison because, like Dabo's case, it's going to take – Dabo's not getting raises and extensions because of what the recruiting rankings are. Dabo's getting raises and extensions based on what happens on Saturday. So it's great. To your point, looks like it's headed in the right direction, but guess what people won't care about? People won't care about recruiting rankings when they're losing to LSU by 2 or 3 scores. Nobody cares. Oh, well, we've got guys coming next year. I don't care.
Yeah, but that's like saying you're on day 2 of your diet and you're still 285 pounds when you started at 287. What are you doing still at 285 pounds, right? You have to give the process time to play out.
Well, I'm not saying it's a fair process or a fair criticism, but I'm telling you, fans, when they're losing to LSU, you're not going to say that night when you're losing to LSU or the game's over and you've lost, you're going to say, well, give it time. No, I want to win. And that's why, to what we said a minute ago, that's why Dabo should have been doing this several years ago. If you want to be in shape and have abs, Diesel, by the time your beach trip comes around in 2 years, guess what? If you know you're going to the Dominican Republic in 2 years and you want abs, you better start training now. If you wait till the week before and you're pissed off because you're in the DR and you don't have abs, well, that's your fault because you waited so long to start getting on the ab treatment process. That's my point with Dabo.
A very easy comparison for that right now, Cole, is the fact that, the Big 12 schools are getting $1 million, $1.2 million a year for these patches on their jerseys. And that's great. Like, good for you. You're getting something out of it. Well, now Ohio State and Notre Dame announced deals where they're getting $17 million, and you're not doing enough, right? You're doing something, and that's good. You're seeing an improvement, but other schools, the LSUs, the Ole Misses, the Ohio States, the Texases of the world, they're doing the thing to the full extent. In Miami, in your own conference, they're doing the thing to the full extent, and they're still outpacing you. What I found interesting, though, about this article, and Texter never misses an opportunity, says, what are the qualifications to become a deacon at the Church of Steel? I don't know, Texter, but that sounds metal as hell, and I kind of like it. A deacon at the Church of Steel. I like that. I'll take that all day.
Also says, diehard Clemson fan here. I've been saying college football has surpassed Dabo. Time to move on, unfortunately.
Interesting.
So I think, again, to my point, I think there are Clemson fans out there that feel that way. To your point, they don't always articulate that.
Right.
We don't hear from every Clemson fan. I get it, but it is one of those things where I think a lot of people don't always articulate how they feel.
Well, that brings me to the article by Blake Topmeyer of USA Today, and this is where I invite our resident Auburn fan, Shane Barrett, to call in and be a part of the show, because he compares Dabo Swinney to Hugh Freeze and says that's not a compliment. Dabo Swinney, and not a lot of the stuff that's in this article is breaking news, right? All of it are things that we've been saying. Dabo, you're talking about your accomplishments too much in the past. Dabo, you're living off of your 10-win seasons in the past. Dabo, you keep talking about the past. Stop talking about the past and actually do something. I just wonder here, Cole, from our Auburn fans in the audience here, does that feel like an apt comparison to call Dabo Swinney Hugh Freeze?
It's easy to right now. I think it is it an apt comparison when you look at the total body of work? No, not total body of work, But Hugh Freeze, I mean, come on. Like, are you comparing right now's Dabo to Hugh Freeze? Okay, whatever. I don't love the comparison. I don't love it.
You don't love it? Well, I mean, Hugh Freeze used to do the same thing. That's my point, is Hugh Freeze would brag about beating Nick Saban a couple of times. Hugh Freeze would brag about, where his program had been in the past while in the process of losing football games, to teams that you were beating not that long ago.
Let's go to the phone lines, 844-326-3663. Shane Barrett wants to get in on the conversation. Tolos, you can do so. Again, 844-FAN-PHONE, FANFONE. Shane, what is on your mind?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Shane.
I wanted to get in on the Hugh Freeze-Dabo comparison. I think it's an easy comparison to make when you discuss that Dabo is living on the past. And I was preparing for this call earlier today, and in my head, and Joel Platt kind of said it in that segment that you guys played earlier. He's living on the Trevor Lawrence and the Deshaun Watson, even the Todd Boyd success, and was hoping to get that with Cade Klubnik. Cade was a good quarterback, but he didn't elevate the team to that next level like I think Lawrence and Watson did, and they haven't found the next, coming of Jesus, if you will, at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
So I think it's easy to point the finger at Dabo and say, you're being like Hugh Freeze here. But I think the difference is like, Dabo's accomplishment actually meant something. He won national championships, where Hugh Freeze's accomplishment was beating Alabama at Ole Miss, and not much more. And then when Hugh came back to Auburn, I know you guys had Zach Blackerby on last week. What it felt like with Hugh and with other Auburn coaches prior to that, it was like, okay, I'm going to try and get back to the SEC, and that's my moment. And once I'm there, like, I'm good as gold. And sorry to make it about Auburn, but like Golish has come in, and it doesn't seem like Golish is just content with being at Auburn, and he wants to go out and bring Auburn back to what they were and start winning. And Clemson needs Dabo to be back at that. Like, to throw back to a clip that used to play on y'all's show as like a promo or whatever, we need angsty Dabo back. We need Dabo that's willing to prove himself back. You don't need Dabo who's relishing on the two national championships, the Heisman Trophy of, Trevor didn't win a Heisman. Did he?
No,
I don't think he did. But he was in contention, or at least preseason contention often. Like, you need that Dabo back. You don't need the Dabo that's relying on his past accomplishments.
I think Dabo's using what he has at the moment, which are past accomplishments, right? I mean, you can't record the conversations that you have with recruits in their living rooms and play it back and say, hey, look at the inroads that we're making with this high school, with that high school, with this player, that player.
Yeah.
All you can do is beat the drum of what you've done and use that essentially as marketing to say, hey, I can, we missed on Cade Klubnik, but I can develop players like Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence into national championship winning quarterbacks. But I understand how tone deaf it does sound when that's basically all you've got right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, to y'all's point, Dabo is making progress using the transfer portal and even getting back to recruiting prowess, because they got a five-star defensive back, Jaden Aparicio-Bailey, that Auburn was targeting, that I really like. And so starting to bring those five-star recruits back in consistently, and then going after the right players in the transfer portal, and him being willing to use it is a step, like you said, in the right direction. But he's got to be able to have a couple years to build that up to show, like you said, the diet is working.
Well,
as far as using the transfer portal,
it is going to take a couple of years. I agree with you there. I do agree with you there. It's going to take a couple of years. However, if Lane Kiffin goes to LSU and succeeds in year one on a team that was also 7-6 last year, and they take a huge jump, what does that say about Dabo Swinney and Clemson in terms of how much patience fans have with Dabo? Well, Lane did it in year one. Why can't we do it
in year 18? And
I don't think Lane's doing it.
And if Lane Kiffin snatches the quarterback away that Clemson wants. I mean, we were talking to Grayson Mann yesterday, and this 4-star quarterback, Trace Hawkins, he's the top 20 quarterback in the 2027 class. If Lane Kiffin's able to get him and Dabo doesn't, I mean, that's a direct head-to-head battle. And we're supposed to find this out tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah. No, this may be a hot take, but I don't think LSU is going to come out that hot in year one of Lane Kiffin. And I think
why not?
The voices. Well, one, if Sam Leavitt's not healthy, then they're to their backup quarterback, which is either Hussein Longstreet that transferred from USC, or I think another either redshirt freshman or true sophomore.
So you don't. I just think there's too much being made of this Sam Leavitt healthy thing. Like I'm telling you.
No, from what I've heard from listening to different shows focused on the SEC, that foot injury that he's got is a pain in the butt to recover from.
Yeah.
And if he's not back to the level that he was at Arizona State, it could be bad for LSU.
Maybe so.
So, Shane, do you want to real quick go win-loss on LSU's schedule, see what you think they come out as?
Sure.
Okay. Clemson.
Shane, hello. Are you there?
I'm there. I'm thinking.
There's nothing to think about.
Win-loss.
I'm going Clemson.
Okay,
Wow.
so that's a loss for LSU. 0-1.
That's the first I've heard.
Louisiana Tech.
Win.
1-1. At Ole Miss.
Win.
2-1. Texas A&M.
Loss.
2-2. McNeese State.
Win.
3-2. At Kentucky.
Win.
4-2. Mississippi State.
Win.
5-2. At Auburn.
This is going to sound so homerish, but loss.
Okay, 5-3.
Homerish. What are you talking about, Homer? Simpson.
Alabama.
Win.
6-3.
What?
Wow. Texas.
Loss.
6-4. At Tennessee.
Win.
7-4. At Arkansas.
Win.
Shane.
8-4. 8-4. So they bring in Lane Kiffin. They pay $40+ million for a roster, and they get one more win in year number 1.
Shane's predictions are so bad. Shane, that's the worst prediction. You have them losing to Clemson and then beating Alabama, losing to Auburn, but beating Ole Miss. What kind of what are you smoking? What are we talking about here? You're so off.
So like Clemson and Ole Miss, like if we break it down like that, Clemson and Ole Miss, I think they could easily split them. Auburn and Alabama, like depending on where Auburn is at that point in the season, and depending
LSU ain't losing to Auburn.
If Sam Leavitt is as hurt as some people think they are, I don't think he plays after week
season.
number 1. I mean, he may try to come in and play against Clemson and see how hurt he really is. If he's bad and they lose the football game, he's not playing the rest of the year. So after that, you get your backup, the Louisiana Tech game to get right, and then on the road at Ole Miss with a guy that's got to start under his belt. It's a tough game. I still think it's a loss, though.
See, I think Sam Leavitt comes back. I think he plays majority of the year.
It's not really how Liz Frank injuries work, though.
I think that's the difference in our evaluation, Cole.
You're a doctor. I'm not. You're a doctor.
You got to be a better evaluator.
You know more. You know more than I do about Liz Frank and ankles and all this stuff. You want to? Do you right now? Does Sam Leavitt start against? Does Sam Leavitt start against Clemson?
Yes.
Okay. Does Sam Leavitt start against Texas on November 14th?
For funsies, let's say no.
Well, then maybe you're right. We'll
So,
see. It's all about this ankle.
Shane, good phone call. Good to hear from you. Glad to talk Auburn with you for a minute.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Shane Barrett, he's the best. Good stuff there.
Gosh, it sounded like you kicked his puppy at the end of the call. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, guys. No, I love going back and
so
forth.
mean to our Tolos.
No, I'm sorry, Shane. I didn't mean to be mean to
You
you
hate
guys.
dogs?
It's all in fun.
You love Clemson, and
I
you're
hope-
mean to callers.
Shane, please don't think I was being mean to you there. It's all in fun. I think there's a lot being made about Sam Leavitt's injury, and maybe y'all are right. Maybe that dude doesn't play much, but I just think that nowadays we'll figure out a way we'll figure something out.
If Sam Leavitt is a normal human being walking around, just going to class on campus, I think the Liz Frank injury doesn't bother him. But when he has to play football. Yes, he will have the best medical care and treatment and rehab as you can get, but he's doing more with it than a normal person does walking around. I think it bothers him in a major way this year.
It's going to be a big storyline. Shane, I promise I wasn't trying to be mean to you. Please don't feel like I kicked your dog there. Diesel, let's unfortunately talk Braves. Lindsey Crosby, very, very talented Braves guest. We have him on all the time. He will join the show to talk Braves next.
Upstate.
I don't know if it's the laundry that needs to be folded or the dirty dishes that need to be cleaned and put up, Diesel, but sometimes there are things you have to do even though you don't want to do them. I, as a Braves fan who's way too emotional about the Braves, I don't want to talk Braves, but we're going to. We love Lindsey Crosby. He is one of the best. If you have not done so already, make sure you give him a follow on Twitter, on X. Great content, great opinions. And Lindsey, listen, we appreciate you hopping on. By the way, at Crosby Baseball is where those Tolos in the upstate can follow Lindsey. Is that a fair comparison? I mean, I don't know which one you hate, despise doing more, laundry or dishes, but right now that's what it feels like for me talking Atlanta Braves baseball.
I would much rather do dishes than have to deal with laundry because, like, at least the dishes involve food, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll wear things out of the dryer before I fold clothes. It's just how it works. And talking the Braves right now, especially after you lose a game to the Mets, kind of feels like you're getting teeth pulled instead. But we can still do it because it's a talented team that's just struggling right now.
Lindsey, at least it keeps it interesting, right? It's not just a long string of wins, which is fun to talk about. And trust me, it's a lot better than talking about a long string of losses like we had to deal with last year. But, just look at the game that ended earlier today. The Braves had an opportunity to maybe pull ahead late in another close one, but couldn't get it done. Couldn't get late inning production. And, of course, you never want to see Austin Riley up to the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of an inning in your last opportunity. I mean, how do you explain what's going on with Austin Riley as a hitter? He's up, he's down, he's up, he's down. He's been more down than up this year.
Yeah, and coming out of the surgery last year, it really looked like he physically was on the field, but he wasn't completely ready. I talked to Heidi Watney of Apple TV, and she said a lot of the guys in his situation that she talks to who had some sort of major abdominal injury, surgery, they talk about it takes like a full year of games to get back to feeling yourself. And it really felt early like he was feeling some of the lingering effects of the surgery, and it got in his head. And he was mentally struggling. He was pressing. He couldn't figure it out. And after the All-Star break, after he took off to Mississippi, he went straight from St. Louis, the road trip, home to Mississippi. Didn't even go by Atlanta first. It looked like he came out. He had gotten a mental reset. He had a chance to kind of get baseball off his mind and then get after it in the second half. And now we're starting to see that old Riley creeping in again. I'm kind of at the point of, I think the rest of this season, this is going to be the guy you're going to get. Give him a full healthy off season to just prepare, to kind of relax. Let's see what you get next year. But I don't think we can expect much more from him than batting 6th, 7th the rest of the year.
Lindsey, it was about a month ago that Chipper Jones diagnosed Austin Riley's swing, and he used the words too big with his movements. And I assume too big means too slow, right? Can you look at Austin Riley's swing and tell that there have been improvements? Maybe he's not where he needs to be, but has he gotten any better in the last month of working with his hitting coaches?
Coming out of the All-Star break, to the point of the too big of a swing, one of the things that you could see Austin start to have success with, and we've heard Chipper talk about this in relation to him, we've seen when he's at his best, he's able to take a pitch that's away and he's able to just shoot it out to right center field, right? He's not trying to kill the ball. He's not trying to destroy it. He's just trying to flick it into play, use his natural power and let it carry. And we saw some of that coming out of the break. We saw where mechanically his swing was a little cleaner. He was more willing to shorten up and make contact versus having that big swing where he's trying to get power every single swing. And I feel like when the team's doing well, like they were right after the break, that's when we saw the best version of Austin Riley, where he wasn't feeling, hey, I'm the $22 million man. I'm the guy with the biggest contract in franchise history. I've got to come through here. And I think it's going to be tied to the overall success of the offense. If the offense is playing well, the mental load on Austin Riley to get right, I don't think is as bad. And that's when he's playing well. And when he's pressing, when he's trying to come through for the team because they need it, that's when we see the big swings. That's when we see him off balance. And that's when we see him striking out or weak contact with 2 outs and a runner on in a 1-run game.
We're talking to Lindsey Crosby. He's the host of Braves Today at Braves_Today and the Locked On Braves podcast postgame show. You can also subscribe to his newsletter at bravestoday.com. Give him a follow on Twitter on X Tolos if you are a Braves fan at Crosby Baseball. You know, this team's weird right now, Lindsey. It's interesting, and I talk about it being like a chore to talk about the Braves. Well, 2 days ago it wasn't. The Braves, won a few series out of the All-Star break, while little brother in Philadelphia is losing every series out of the All-Star break. So times were good. You felt like, Acuna's back. You should go into this series with the Mets and win 2 of 3. Instead, you've lost 2 of 3. It feels like to me, and again, I don't have my finger on the pulse near as close or as near as much as you do, Lindsey, but it feels like to me every day that this team looks bad or loses, it's just a different problem. It's a different issue. It's a different reason they're losing, and it's kind of hard just to blame one area of this baseball team. Is that a big red flag in your mind that come postseason you just never know what can creep up and bite this team in the rear? Or do you think maybe since it's not just one big problem, there's still time for this team to iron these issues out?
Overall, the problem, I think, is one big problem of consistency.
Yeah.
But you're right, it manifests in different ways.
Right.
And to me, that actually strangely is heartening, right? If I think about, when the offense is good and the pitching staff is hot, which we saw the first month of the season, Atlanta looked far and away like the best team in baseball. And so to me, we've seen the ceiling if everything's working. And if you look at the month of May, the offense was good, above average. The pitching staff was merely okay. And you were still one of the 10 best teams in baseball. And you come out of the break in July, the offense was incredibly hot in the month of July. The pitching staff was maybe even a little bit worse than okay. And you were still one of the best teams in baseball. So for me, it's like, we've seen in June what it looks like when nothing works. And we've seen in July and in May what it looks like when some of it's working and some of it's not. But the highs on this team are so high when everything's working. I actually feel strangely okay. I'm like, all right, if you can mitigate some of these weaknesses, if you can add a high leverage starter, a frontline starter for game 2 behind a Chris Sale, well, all of a sudden you've mitigated the worst problem of the rotation, right? If you can add a bat who can hit left-handers, Atlanta has a sluggy coming into today of 398 against lefty pitching, which is one of the worst parts in the league. 29th on walk rate against lefties. If you can add a bat that hits lefties well, you can mitigate one of the biggest weaknesses of the offense. And if you can just bring all those little parts up a little bit, you can get back to being one of the best teams in baseball. And then John Smoltz told me all it takes to win in the postseason, 3 hot starters, 3 hot relievers, 3 hot hitters. You can absolutely see how you can find those guys with a little bit of additions at the trade deadline and what you already have.
Lindsey, now that Ronald Acuna Jr. is back in the lineup and he played in the earlier game today, what would you expect his use load to be? I know he was hitting dinger after dinger down in the minors in his rehab stint, but it's a lot of times these coaches want to ease these guys back in. Is he going to be an everyday, as much as he normally would before the injury, kind of participant in the roster, or do you expect him to get a little extra time off throughout these series?
Team officials have indicated they don't want him to be outright on the bench, right? They've discussed he's not going to be a designated hitter. He is a right fielder. They may use him at DH once or twice in a week and try to be strategic with it. Like, for instance, you have a day game after a night game. Ronald may end up being the DH in the day game just to kind of ease the workload on him physically. But they intend to play him as much as they can because they know ultimately he's that kind of player. He plays, he gets into a groove, he's unstoppable. And the mood around Atlanta is they're kind of waiting to see how long does it take him to get on that heater. Because he wasn't really producing that well power-wise or batting average-wise before the injuries. He was still walking a lot. He was getting on base. But they want to play him as much as possible and just be smart about it and try to give him a half day here and a half day there. I'd expect him at most to maybe miss a game a week. I'm curious about today. He might just DH this afternoon and you use a different outfield configuration so that he doesn't necessarily have to play 18 innings in the outfield in one day.
Eric, Lindsay, when going back to your previous, you got two names. You didn't know that. Going back to your previous answer of my question a few minutes ago, talking about Chris Sale, and when you get to the postseason, having someone behind Chris Sale, am I the only Braves fan, and maybe this is something that's been talked about, down in Atlanta and in the circles that you listen to and have heard from? But I understand the concept of having somebody behind Chris Sale. But when I hear the conversation right now about do the Braves need a bat or an arm, my answer is like arm with an S and another S and another S, because at any minute, Chris Sale and his age goes down. What happens if you're not aggressive with a pitcher at the deadline? You get the postseason, something happens to Chris Sale, which is possible. He's old for a pitcher. And then you're down to what? That's my question. That's my issue. Do you share that same concern?
On a recent episode of the Braves Today podcast, I actually said I think the ideal trade deadline for Atlanta is 4 total players. Bringing in a no-doubt starting pitcher number 2, bringing in a veteran to compete for that third spot in the postseason with an A.J. Smith-Shawver, right? Maybe if you could find 2 guys who are no-doubt playoff starters, great. If not, and I think after today, they'll probably try to find a no-doubt playoff starter. I think you also need to reinforce the bullpen with one more arm. Doesn't have to be a lefty, just has to be somebody who can get lefties out. And I still think you need a bat to hit lefties. I'm of the opinion, rather than getting one Tarek Skubal, I'd rather add 3 or 4 players and try to just take all of those weaknesses and raise the floor on all of those areas by a bit to have the most well-rounded roster I think AA's had since he's been in Atlanta. But I agree, one guy, not enough. And just getting one playoff caliber starter is banking a lot on the fact that every single Atlanta pitcher in the last couple of years has gotten hurt except for Bryce Elder. Chris Sale's been on that list once. If you lose him again, you are in trouble.
Lindsey Crosby, host of Braves Today, joining us here on Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson. So, I've heard you and several other Braves analysts talk about the cost of making a run at, for example, a Tarek Skubal or whatever you may need to do to get the players that you need to make a push this year. How much does it really set the team back if like J.R. Ritchie is part of the package and a handful of guys out of the farm system? Now, are we saying that making a push this year pushes the Braves out of contention for 4 years after that? Like, what really is the cost of dipping into that farm system?
I'm the type of person that, one, if you think back over the history of Alex Anthopoulos in Atlanta, there's been very few prospects that he traded away that actually worked out with their new team, right? Shea Langoliers, probably the best one. You knew he was going to be good, but you were getting Matt Olson, so it was worth it. Outside of that, most of the guys he has been willing to move did not pan out. Drew Waters or Christian Pache or, Joey Estes, Ryan Cusick, all those guys, none of them ever did anything. So I'm personally of the opinion that AA's been really good at knowing which guys to keep. Teams asked about Michael Harris. Teams asked about Drake Baldwin. Teams asked about Spencer Schwellenbach, A.J. Smith-Shawver. He wouldn't move any of them, and it was the right move. If the Braves have to trade a bunch of guys this deadline to add 3 or 4 pieces, I'm pretty confident at the end of the day, you're not going to regret losing those guys. Simply because I think this organization deserves benefit of the doubt on evaluating their own prospects. That being said, the only way with which you really impact the future competitiveness of the roster, you do have guys getting ready to start. Their contracts are up. Ozzy's last year's next year. Ronald's got 2 years. Sale's got 2 years. And if the players you've identified that can be major league starters and replace those guys, if those are the ones you trade, you're looking at a roster crunch and some roster issues in a couple seasons. But again, I trust AA. Just about every guy he's traded, the deal worked out absolutely in our favor, other than Shea Langoliers and maybe Caleb Durbin. Those might be the 2 biggest prospect losses under AA. And other than that, you haven't missed any of the guys you've moved.
Lindsey, my last question for you. With that being said, what are you hearing? What do you think happens? I mean, we're inching very, very close to this deadline.
There were quite a few scouts last weekend in High A Rome. They were, the Tigers had guys there. The A's had scouts there. They were looking at those players in row. Cam Caminiti, Tate Southacine, Eric Hartman, a lot of those guys, some of them are getting moved up. The belief for it is that you're going to clear out some of these guys like a J.R. Ritchie. You named him. Great example of a guy. He's a good kid. He'll be a major league starter for a while, but it's going to be a back of the rotation guy. You can replace that. You have 4 of them in your rotation right now, right? So what we're kind of hearing is that Atlanta's more aggressive than usual because they have more capital than usual. They're checking in on everybody, but the entire market's kind of in a holding pattern until the Tigers decide on Tarek Skubal. They've been losing this week, so that helps. And Atlanta wanted to evaluate A.J. Smith-Shawver in a major league start to have more information about could he be one of those 3 guys in October. That's kind of what we heard. We got half of that with AJ. He was good today. He wasn't great. Wasn't good enough for you to bank on him in the postseason. So my expectation is you're going to see some prospects move. They're going to go try to get 2 starters if they can. We also heard that the Toronto Blue Jays are still mad at AA for leaving, and they don't want to deal with AA. So no Kevin Gausman, no George Springer. That's a frustrating thing there for us.
Great stuff, Lindsay. I was just about to ask you about, the single A Rome Braves because they're taking on our local team, a Rangers affiliate, the Hub City Spartanburgers, tonight. So any of our Tolos who are going to want to be going out to Fifth Third Park in Spartanburg, which if you've never had a chance to come up, Lindsay, to Greenville, it's a beautiful ballpark. You got to check it out. But appreciate the heads up on what kind of Braves talent is going to be on the field in Spartanburg tonight.
Yeah, they have that's one of the more talented offenses and rosters in the system right now, and they're just a ton of fun to watch. Really enjoy them, and the starting pitching, all of that, the position players, tons of fun. Enjoy that game today. The local folks who are going out there.
Love it. Thanks, Lindsay. Good stuff.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Lindsay Crosby, host of Braves Today, making me feel a little bit better. It's interesting what he said there when I asked him what he was hearing. I mean, the one player in Tarek Skubal that's basically holding this entire market right now in his fingertips, and it's his team, his organization that's doing that. I think that's fascinating. Nothing's happening. Nothing's moving. Nothing of significance.
Yeah.
And it's just this big wait and see. And then if they do something, if they decide Skubal's gone, maybe the dominoes start falling. I don't think the Braves are going to get Skubal. I would love for them to be able to. I think it would be a huge difference maker. I just don't see it happening. I don't think AA gives up enough what it would take to go get a guy like that.
Well, you certainly don't want to see him coming into the division, and you don't want to see him going to the Dodgers, who will spend on just about anybody. That would be rough there. And now he's really only going to be a half a season rental, right? He's on his last year of his deal anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out, Cole. Let's do our whip around the sports world, our daily wires on the other side of the break. That's next.
Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Cole Texter asks, what's wrong with Diesel? Well, how much time you got, Texter? I don't know. What do you mean?
What do you mean what's wrong?
Do I sound unwell? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not sure what the context around that text is.
Yeah, we need more information than that. But let's get into our daily wires. The buzz around the sports world. Ole Miss is seeking close to $1 million in penalties from two of its former football players who signed rev-sharing contracts to return to the Rebels this season before tucking tail and heading down to LSU with Lane Kiffin, according to the lawsuit filed Monday in the Circuit Court of Lafayette County in Oxford, Mississippi. The Rebels are seeking $550,000 from former defensive end Princewell Uman Mielen and $400,000 from former guard Devin Harper, plus attorney's fees and court costs. This is a breach of contract case, and we're going to find out, Cole, does this essentially set up buyouts?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but it very well could. Very well could.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch. It's funny, as Ole Miss said, hey, LSU, could you pay this money for them? And LSU's like, no, bro. Whoa, who's this? New phone, who dis? With the Phillies dropping their fourth straight series since the All-Star break, Bryce Harper was blunt when asked if the team needs reinforcements as the trade deadline approaches, saying, quote, I think we need some help. He said that after a 1-0 loss to the Marlins, their 8th defeat in 11 games since the break. They have scored 1 run or fewer in 6 of their 11 losses.
And they lost again today.
Oh,
8-6 to the Phillies. And that's my whole point.
Hey, at least they got some offense.
That's why I'm so frustrated right now. It's because the Phillies are just blowing you-know-what. And you can't even beat the Mets. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Cole, we played this audio earlier. I don't know if you want to hear it again, but police body cam footage of Tony Romo's arrest has been released. The officer asked him if he had recently sustained any concussions. He was kind of funny in his response. He goes, well, I've had a few, but none recently.
Yeah, it was funny.
So he still got arrested for a DWI. We'll see how that plays out in court. Falcons quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, let that sink in, Cole. I had totally forgotten that he was with the Falcons now, is sidelined with apparent back tightness, and the team has brought in Cooper Rush to help bolster the quarterback room. Michael Penix still out as well. So after releasing Trevor Siemian with Penix down, Tagovailoa down, undrafted free agent rookie Jack Strand was the only fully cleared for practice quarterback on the roster.
How about that?
That's
you know that
good.
name, right? Jack Strand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Jack. Yeah,
Jack, good buddy. He's a good guy. The Hub City Spartanburgers fell 3-7 last night in their opener against the Rome Braves. They'll play again tonight at 6:35. Neither Bijan Robinson nor Jamar Gibbs appeared to be practicing with the Falcons or the Lions, respectively, on their first days of training camp. Both are seeking new contracts. The old sit-in, Cole. They're not participating. Texans GM Nick Caserio said that there's a possibility the team and C.J. Stroud can reach a contract extension. League sources tell ESPN that talks between the two sides haven't been significant in terms of an agreement being close. When asked if negotiations could linger into the regular season, Caserio said the team was taking negotiations one day at a time.
Imagine that. Coaches speak.
Yeah. Well, hey, what if he could be a Carolina Panther after?
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Carolina Panthers fourth round wide receiver pickup Chris Brazzell II will undergo testing on his left knee after he suffered a non-contact injury in yesterday's practice. The injury happened at a 7-on-7 drill. He couldn't put weight on his left foot as he was helped to a cart. Head coach Dave Canales said he felt weird on it. Sat down. We took him in. We'll get a full evaluation and get a picture of that. We'll give you more information as it becomes available.
What's the deal up there right now?
Nonstop injuries. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti on Tuesday doubled down on his league's push for a 24-team college football playoff, saying the Big Ten can still eliminate its conference championship game in time for a new format to begin in 2027. Quote, there's some things that you would have to unwind, talking about the deal with Fox. There's no doubt about that. I think we're committed to doing that.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
About that.
And last Daily Wire here for you, Cole, a little quote from yesterday's Big Ten Media Day. They talked to Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz. He warned about a return to the 70s if college football isn't careful, saying if we're not careful, we're going to go back to the 70s where there's just going to be 8, 10, 15 teams that are really well funded. My guess is there's going to be a little bit of a tilt in that direction to who's going to be in the playoffs.
Wow.
If that's what we want, Great, but I'm not sure that's what everyone wants. He also added about his time in the NFL. One good thing about the NFL that I do miss, an equal chance for everybody.
Going back to the 70s, are we?
Yeah, the SEC stuck in 2005.
Yeah.
And college football is going back to the 70s.
Going back to the 70s. Well, Diesel, today was the monstrous day at Big 12, or at Big 10, media days. You had the big dogs in attendance. Michigan, Minnesota, not a big dog, Ohio State, Oregon, and Purdue. Man, 3 of the 5 were big time. We'll get into what was said audio-wise. Don't let me forget about UCLA. I'm sorry, Bob Chesney. They were the 6th team in attendance today. A very interesting day. We'll have the audio, what it sounded like, next.
State.
Well, I don't know who the shinier toy is, whether it's Ryan Day or Dan Lanning. I know Michigan, with their thoughts of recent Diesel, may not be too shiny, but there's still a shiny logo, big brand, national blue blood. Today, absolutely loaded at Big Ten Media Days. Purdue, UCLA, and Minnesota were all taking a back seat to Michigan, Ohio State, and Oregon. I know that sounds disrespectful, doesn't it? I mean, how dare I? Sorry, Kenny Chesney or Bob Chesney, whatever your name is.
Yeah.
No, Bob did a good job at JMU. I'm kidding.
I still feel like PJ Fleck could have done a lot better than Minnesota. He was one of the hottest names in coaching when he left. What was it, Western Michigan? He takes a job in Minnesota, where nobody wins.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Let's go hear from these big name coaches, and let's start with the Ducks in Oregon. In Eugene, Diesel, Dan Lanning, his vision for Oregon football in 2026. Let's get a few minutes from old Dan, shall we?
I'm working with Tony Petitti and seeing the work that he does for our conference. He's a guy that really shares a voice for our conference. And I think that's obviously shown over time here with how the Big Ten's competed over time. I'm very excited about this season. I really like the work that our guys have put in. You know, walking in this year, what's different from last year? Obviously, we have some great returning players that have been big contributors to our program. One thing that I recognize is last year I felt like we had a team that had a ton of talent. This year I feel like we have a team that has a lot of experience returning. A lot of those young players that played are now guys that have also had great experience. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. I was really honored today to get to bring 3 players here with me. I'll start talking with about our quarterback, Dante Moore. Obviously, a guy that I feel like has been around for almost as long as I've been around Oregon. Took a little pit stop somewhere else and then came back and joined us.
I want to back it up for a minute. The reason I want to back it up, they had a graphic up about Dan Lanning. And Diesel, Dan Lanning's an interesting coach. I'm a big fan, by the way. I think he's a really good coach. Dan Lanning's not like in the same conversation as Lincoln Riley when it comes to what has he done.
Yeah.
He hadn't been able to get Oregon over the hump in his 4 seasons there. He's going into his 5th. I think eventually it'll break through. Oregon's got way too much money, way too much talent. They're going to be consistently unbelievably talented year in and year out. Here's what's crazy, though. You ready for this record? And I know you and I have talked about this before we said these words, but hearing this and seeing this record on the screen just kind of blows your mind. Dan Lanning's 48-8. 48-8 at Oregon.
Whoa.
I mean, what else do you want? Did he win a national championship? Has he yet? No. Have they lost games they should have won? Maybe. He's 48-8, though, as a head coach.
If this was Penn State, they would have fired him already. Can't win the big games.
Can't win the big ones. You should have won the 8. You should be 6-0, whatever that number is.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah. It's just phenomenal when you look at this record of how good this guy's been. This guy's been phenomenal. But again, this is what we do as fans. This is what we do as sports media. You're ultimately judged by what? If you win a national championship or not.
Yeah.
And then, boy, how long does that last? If you win a national championship or 2, like Dabo, a few years go by, you don't win 1 in 10 years. Well, no, you're not any good anymore.
Trash.
It is just unbelievable how talented those rosters have been. 48-8 at Oregon. Here's more audio from Dan. He's getting into Dante Moore.
To bring 3 players here with me. I'll start talking with about our quarterback, Dante Moore. Obviously, a guy that I feel like has been around for almost as long as I've been around Oregon. Took a little pit stop somewhere else and then came back and joined us. But obviously had an unbelievable year last year and is really obviously a special quarterback. But what makes Dante so special is who he is as a person, seeing the community outreach that he does, the leader that he is for his teammates, the work that he's done, and obviously a guy that can make a mature decision about what's best for his future and where he's headed and what he wants it to look like and how he has some business that he wants to complete. So really excited that he gets to be, really somebody that's showcasing Oregon this week and here at Big Ten meetings. Also got the opportunity to bring Jamari Johnson. Jamari, last year I sat up here and I talked about a tight end at Oregon and how special he was in Kenyon Sadiq. Jamari is also that special. He was a guy that we recruited out of high school, actually used to play quarterback, and he just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He can run, he can block, he can catch. If you've seen Jamari today, that means you've also seen his smile. He's a guy that makes you feel real special every time he steps in the room. And I'm certainly excited to see what he's able to accomplish this year in our offense. And then thirdly, I got the opportunity to bring Tatum Tuioti. This is a guy that's been along our journey the entire time. Is son of our defensive line coach, Tony Tuioti.
Did you get that name, by the way?
250.
Did you get that Tootie
Tiny Tim?
Tiny Tootie who? That's a great name.
I got to find him on the. What's his name?
Let's back up one more time. Ready? Maybe.
This is a guy that's been along our journey the entire time. Is son of our defensive line coach, Tony Tuioti.
Tony Tuioti. His dad, Tony Tuioti. Mr. Tony Tuioti.
I feel bad for anybody that's got to call Oregon games
football
this year.
Tony Tuioti.
Their center's name is Iapani Laialolu.
Yeah, but you don't talk about the centers.
No, you don't.
You never bring it up.
They have on defensive end, Mateo Uyangalele. We all know how to say that name.
DJ, huh? What?
The J linebacker. What does J stand for in J linebacker?
J linebacker.
What is J?
Juicy.
Yeah. Tatum Tuioti. You got
that's him. That's who he was talking about. Tuioti.
You got Ife Obidegwu.
Yep. How about number 3? How you is that?
Koi Parrish.
Wow. Man, they've got some interesting names.
It's probably pronounced Kai, and we're just idiots and don't know that K-O-I means Kai.
Could be. Thank God for pronunciation guides, right?
Yeah.
Thank God. You don't get those in high school, but college pro you do, and they need them.
I knew a guy, Cole, that did voice-tracked morning radio in Hawaii. He's from here, lived here in the Southeast, in Greenville for a long time. Did radio in Hawaii, and he said that was the hardest part of his job was making sure that you pronounce the name, because obviously if you're saying it wrong, you're not a local, and if you're not a local, they hate you for it.
Yeah.
Like that. He said that was tough.
Those Hawaiian names, man, you talk about tough. Those are tough.
Yeah, but think about out west if they try to say Cherokee names, Cherokee places.
Yes, true.
That's hard too.
True. All right, a few more minutes from old Dan before we get to Ryan Day. Dan, a few more minutes here.
It's a guy that came in at 215 pounds, and now he's 265 pounds. Has been one of the best players in our league. Certainly a dynamic piece of our front. I remember looking out the window, when Tatum first joined us, and he's out there on the sled, striking the sled. And I think that speaks volumes about his work ethic, the time that he's put in, and what he's created. So Coach Love has done an unbelievable job with our players this offseason. I've said it already here that we're returning a lot of experience, but what's really been impressive was the work that our guys have done. I think this will be the most player-led team that we've had so far in my time here at Oregon. With that experience becomes new leadership roles. And a lot of guys have really rolled into that roles. We also have a couple new leaders on both sides of the ball. Our 4 years here, we've had 3 guys go on to become Power 4 head coaches, and we're
Let me ask you this. I think I'm tired of Dan. Diesel, let me ask you this.
Well, he never takes a breath.
He did. He doesn't take a breath, does he? If I give you a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being not surprised, 10 being surprised. Okay, there's your scale. 0 to 10. 0 is not surprised. 10 is very surprised, right?
Surprised.
I want you to tell me where you would land on that scale. If I told you the Big Ten won a 4th consecutive national championship in 2026, and it was not Dan Lanning's Oregon Ducks. Dan Lanning. Because we expect him to be pretty good this year with Dante Moore, right?
I wouldn't be surprised with Julian Sayin at Ohio State.
You'd go Buckeyes. That's who you'd probably guess if you had
the wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith back. I think they're going to be really good again. I mean, it's not going to be surprising if Ohio State wins the whole thing. Now, if you told me that the Big Ten wins their 4th straight and it's a 4th different team and it's Oregon,
that would surprise you more.
No. I don't think I'd probably be like a 2 on both of those because I think a lot of Dan Lanning. I think there's a very good chance, unless things fall off the rails, that they're going to be a playoff team. I mean, Boise State, Oklahoma State, Portland State, Southern Cal. That's a 4-0 start.
Where are they? I was going to say where do they? Exactly. Diesel, this schedule. Let's go down it again. Start over.
Boise State.
Yeah.
Blowout win.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State on the road. Blowout win. Portland State. On a Friday. Why do that one on Friday? At Southern Cal. Maybe Southern Cal gives them a tiny bit of trouble with Maeva, but I don't know.
No.
UCLA, Nebraska, both home games, by the way. At Illinois, one of the easier Big Ten opponents to face on the
road.
So
I'm sorry. Go one more.
And then Northwestern, a homecoming.
So they're undefeated.
8-0 at the time.
Is that 8-0?
I mean, 8-0.
Yeah.
If you're there,
you're the number 3 team in the country.
This is
team
where
in the country.
It gets tough.
Is that right, though? Let me ask you that. If they're 8-0, they're how highly ranked are they? Are they number
easily top
1,
5,
2, 3? Maybe 3?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Ohio State's going to be there just by virtue of being Ohio State.
Georgia, Texas,
Georgia,
maybe.
yeah. I'd agree with that.
So now I think you just said it. You just said it. Yeah, it gets tough, but for not a long time, like a week and a half, maybe.
At Ohio State, Michigan, at Michigan State, and Washington. Now, that's a rivalry game, but you get them at home with Washington.
I don't know where the bet is, where I can find the bet, Diesel, but if there's any way for me to put any investment that Oregon's a playoff team, I will bet the house.
I mean,
like there's just no way Oregon's not making the play in any world.
Right.
Tell me how Dante Moore goes down.
That's a 10-2 team right there.
10-2.
That's a 10-2.
What do you mean 10-2?
At the worst. Ohio State.
I don't see them losing, but
I think Ohio State, maybe Washington could give them fits if DeMond Williams is everything we think he's going to be at Washington. And Jed Fish is coming off a good season last year.
Let me ask you this question.
They were a pretty good team last year.
Let's do this. This is going to be fun. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I went to Ohio State last year for the first time for a game.
Yep.
I want you to imagine Ohio State, Oregon, November 7th. Oregon's 8-0. There's no doubt that's going to happen. Unless Dante Moore goes down, they're 8-0. Making the trip to Columbus. Ohio State, if they beat Texas and they beat Indiana at Indiana, which I think they will, still going to be tough, but I think they can beat. It's going to be tough. They've got Ohio State has 2 really tough games before they play Oregon. But let's say they win both. Let's say they have already beaten Texas and they've already beaten Indiana on the road, mind you, at both. You're thinking, oh, this Ohio State team is the best in the country. They're the best in the country. What if I told you on November 7th, not only is Oregon 8-0, but Ohio State's 8-0. You talk about massive.
That's obviously game day.
Game day. How about game year? Game year. Like game century. I mean, that could be with Dante Moore and Jeremiah Smith on both sides. That could be like, and maybe I've said this already 2 or 3 times this offseason. That could be the game of the year. That could be the best game in college football. And maybe it's still going to be good even if Ohio State were to trip up once to Texas, or Indiana, which I think they could. To Texas, I think they'll beat Indiana, Diesel. But that you talk about massive. That Ohio State stadium that holds over 100,000 people, that place would be bonkers if both were 8-0.
By then, and this is doing a little helmet scouting here. This is doing a little class scouting here. By then, the redshirt freshman left guard Douglas Utu of Oregon is no longer a redshirt freshman. He played in a couple of games last year. But, I mean, imagine he's going to be going up against some dudes by the time they get to the back half of the season.
That gets me so fired up. Like, just thinking about that game, possibility of both teams being 16-0 combined, going into Ohio State. Are you kidding me? Like, that's so fascinating how big that game could be. It could be massive. Dan Lading, by the way, speaking right now on ESPN Live. Let's go to Dan real quick.
Cusp of it, but you got to start worrying about game 1 and the rest of the season before you can start thinking about that.
When you go,
he's worried about Boise State.
Do you take perhaps something, let's say from the Indiana game, and say, guys, this is what it needs to take to win championships? Do you use that as a jumping off point to start the winter workouts?
I think if you're not looking back as a coach and evaluating what you've done well and what you haven't done well, then you're missing something. We absolutely look at that game. We also look across college football and the NFL and things that can help us and improve. And every single year, we've made small adjustments. We've added small schemes. We've added players that I think can make us better in the future. And certainly this is a group that has some of those traits.
And I mentioned Dante, and we know he's the star of your team. He decided to come back, and he's been very honest about issues he's faced with mental health, and he's come out there and put himself out there. We know Dante, the quarterback. What does Dante, the person, mean to your program?
Question.
And I love Dante, almost like a son or a family member. It's special, the connection that we have. And he's created that because of the person he is. As unbelievable as a player he is, the person is that much more important. His leadership, his ability to step out and really share his voice with college football in the world has been super impressive. And how he's been able to stay humble throughout the entire experience is something that I really take a lot of pride in being able to watch and see.
That's Dan Lanning live on ESPN right now. Good stuff from him. Is Dan Lanning more intriguing to you or Ryan Day? Just in terms of hearing them speak, which is more intriguing to you as a college football fan?
I guess Dan.
I think it's Dan too.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Dan's an interesting guy. He is such a high energy, up tempo, million miles an hour kind of guy, and that guy is gonna be successful at some point. He's only in year 5, right? He's been right there on the cusp. Let's be real, he's gonna get in the playoff again this year, and then all bets are off. You just don't know what's gonna happen once you get into the playoffs. I think this team is deep this year, Cole. I think their chances are as good as just about anybody.
I think their schedule sets up really well.
Right, their schedule sets up nicely to get them in, and then they've got enough depth, and they've got enough experience. They're top 20 in experience coming back this year.
Big.
So I think they've got enough depth, Cole, to be right there in the mix, and that's really all you can say at this point.
Speaking of Ohio State, for those Buckeye fans out there, what did Ryan Day have to say today? Let's listen and react to Ryan Day.
And all of our fans. It's a very, very special place, and I understand that more and more every year. I want to thank Tony for his leadership.
God, what Tony loved today.
Is somebody who is a very hard worker. Anybody that's worked with Tony will quickly learn.
The commissioner of your conference is a very hard worker.
You don't say.
Thank God.
I thought he just took the days off.
Check that one off. He's on the golf course. Very hard worker. Back to Ryan.
How hard he works. And his leadership has put us in a great position here in the Big Ten. People will talk about
those meetings and shrimp cocktails are tough.
The
dude.
SEC and the Big Ten. I mean, certainly we've won the last 3 national championships here in the Big Ten. But to me, it's about where are we at this year? What are we putting on the field this year? And then where are we going into the future? And as college football changes and college athletic changes, I think the Big Ten is very, very well positioned, and for a lot of reasons. And one of them is because of Tony's leadership. Another one is because of the 18 member institutions, their locations throughout the country, their brands, their fan bases. And so it's clear to see we have big momentum, and a big part of that is because of Tony. I think our coaches within the Big Ten is as strong as I've seen since I've been in the Big Ten. When you sit in the meetings and Tony's in there, he listens. We go in there, we vent, we talk about a lot of things, we complain. It's part of the job with all the change that goes on, and he can't fix everything, but he's listening, and he's going to do what he can when he leaves to get those things addressed. But I can't tell you how much respect I have for their 17 guys in that room. When you look all the way up and down, the entire conference, this is as strong as it's been, and I got a lot of respect for the guys in that room. I want to thank our new president, Ravi Bellamkonda, who
talk about the team, Ryan. Let's fast forward.
I'm obviously biased. I think it's the best coaching staff in America.
Here we go.
It starts with our coordinators and goes from there, and then goes, to Mick and to Mark and everybody in the building. But also to have the resources to go recruit the best players in the country, and that has to continue at Ohio State. And because of the board and because of the commitment of our cabinet and our administration, we're able to do that and have continued to do that. I want to thank Ross Bjork for his leadership, for him in terms of challenging us on a daily basis to continue to adapt, continue to innovate. And yesterday was a great example of that. We signed a huge deal with JP Morgan Chase on our patch deal.
17
which goes
mil.
to show you, the adaptation and innovation of our athletic department, and that's headed up by Ross. I want to thank our families of everybody in the building, the staff members, the coaches, the wives, the children. We have over 60 children under the age of 15 in our building with all the staff members. And then obviously their wives, because once we get to work here, we go into preseason camp. They don't get to see their They don't get to see their fathers a lot. They don't get to see their husbands a lot. And
I've had enough of Ryan Day. Good stuff.
Thanks,
really.
Ryan.
Yeah, like, good God. I mean, that's the hard part about being, and I'm not saying like going to these things blows, but you're sitting in these conferences 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, and I don't care. I'm a media member. Tell me about your team. I don't care about the wives of your coaches. I just don't. Like, I'm sorry. They're great. They sacrifice. They're so great and sacrificial. Well, you know what? I'd be sacrificial too if my husband or wife made
$10 million
a year like these Big Ten wives do. Come on, get to the good stuff. Ryan Day. I mean, he's just
that to me says
he's Daboing today. Is what he is.
But see, like at the very least, and again, defending Dabo when earlier in the show, an hour and 20 minutes ago, we were attacking Dabo. When Dabo says something, at least he's kind of talking about football. It might be football games that he played and he coached in and won 10 years ago, but at least he's talking about football, not thanking the wives for being okay with their husbands being away from the game.
I mean, just imagine.
Guess what? Almost every coach in America has a wife or a girlfriend or somebody who's not seeing them because they're out there making millions of dollars coaching football.
You're a media member and you travel all the way to Chicago and you've got to hear that. Good grief. Yeah. Give me a break. It's Ryan. It's coach speak.
Yeah. Well, again, I know a lot of people cover media days from afar, like people that actually cover the conference because they're like, why? Why would I go all the way to Tampa if all we're going to hear is the coaches thank their wives? Why would we go all the way to Chicago? Cole, did you know that today is a holiday?
I did. I saw this on the rundown and was very excited about it. I actually saw a graphic on Facebook yesterday, and I'm very, very. This is my This segment's. I'm looking forward to this.
I feel like we should have today off. Honestly, it really should be a nationally recognized holiday. But today is National Chicken Wing Day, and the question is, who in the Upstate has the best chicken wings? Like, where are we all going tonight? Tolo's. Shout out the restaurants in your town, the best chicken wings in your town. And Cole and I are going to do a little draft. Chicken wing flavors next.
on the Fan Upstate.
Why am I not surprised that a no good, lousy, low down Notre Dame fan would have a take so ridiculous as this, Cole, than to text in and say chicken wings are overrated?
Oh boy.
Dear God.
Did you block that number?
I should. I'll delete them out of my phone too, because I can't believe I have this Tolo's phone number in my phone. I'm going to disavow this listener, this texter. Leprechaun of Lyman and his agents. I don't ever get to talk to the leprechaun. I talk to his agent.
Right.
Leprechaun texted in, I guess, came out from under his rock and texted in to say chicken wings are overrated on National Chicken Wing Day.
Yeah, that's just a bad take. That's a real bad take. And look, if you don't like chicken, like I get it. I guess there are 6 people out there in the world that don't like chicken, and maybe that's a normal thing. But come on, chicken wings are. I think I was at not to bring this personal. I was at my appointment a couple of weeks ago or days ago for New Life Weight Loss, and the lady asked me, "What food do you think you eat most of?" Like they're doing this whole now. And I said chicken wings. I think I eat more chicken wings on a weekly basis than any other food.
How many days a week are you eating?
Probably
chicken wings?
2, maybe 3.
Okay.
I think there's some weeks I'm eating chicken wings 3 times a week.
Do you eat chicken? Have you ever eaten chicken wings for breakfast?
No.
Like you never have leftover chicken wings you eat them for breakfast?
No.
That's how you know you got a problem.
I've never stooped to chicken wings for breakfast. I usually can wait until lunch to eat the chicken wings. But no, there's no such thing. Like that. That's a horrible take. You should be banned from the show.
Dan B on the stream, also came out from under his rock, says, "Are you guys making fun of Leprechaun now? Wow, guys. There's a disturbance in the force." Dan, you where have you been? Where have you been, Dan? I know you message in on the stream, and we appreciate you doing that. We love all of our Tolos who watch on the stream, but we expect you to call, Dan. We expect you to pick up the phone, and we want to hear that voice of yours.
Everybody else is calling right now. It's like 4 Tolos back to back, ready to let them rip about these chicken wings, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that what I mean? You'd say chicken wings and bam.
Chicken wings and mayonnaise gets the listeners fired up. Cocky for a reason. We partook in some of your homemade cooking. You can't say homemade cooking because we can't go get your homemade wings. Now, Cole and I could. You'd invite us over to the house. But where you live, what are the best chicken wings in town?
Like I said, I eat them all over, but my favorite place is Local Q.
Yeah.
Local Q's
got
good chicken wings.
They're smoked.
Yeah, pretty good wings. I like to say, they got a good wing, they got good sauce, and if you're gonna have a wing, you got to have a good adult beverage. They got a good selection of adult beverages there. So
I do love their wings. They've got good. They have Alabama white sauce at Local Q,
which is mayonnaise.
Well, it's made of mayonnaise. I mean, I
love
mayonnaise. I love Alabama white sauce on wings. It's top tier. Top tier.
Where are you on spice? Like super hot wings, Cocky. Will you? Partake?
I like spice, but I like the spice, but I don't like the painful spice.
Yeah, I'm same way.
Okay, so you're like a 6 out of 10 is where you stop.
Okay.
I'm the same way. I don't love like hot wings. I just think there are so many other good flavors out there. There are a million other good flavors. Why only eat hot wings?
I don't want to eat the atomic wings, but you got to try them every now and again. We got all the hot sauces from that Hot Ones internet game show.
I don't like it.
They're fun like once a year, and that's it.
Yeah. But what's up with Leprechaun?
I mean, that's dumb.
It is.
Like he's been hit under a rock, and he comes out from his rock and gets with that take.
Yeah, that's dumb. It's lame. God, that's good. Cocky, that's good.
Just like not appearing in a bowl game, he should quit making takes like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks, Cocky.
Thanks for the phone call. Good phone call there. And an impression of the Leprechaun.
You know who's on the line next?
Just so happens.
Now he has to defend himself against Cocky for reasons mockery.
That's pretty funny.
Leprechaun of Lyman.
Pretty funny.
Explain yourself here. You don't like chicken wings.
I don't have to defend anything, man.
Yeah, you do. You do.
It's the agent, by the way.
The agent.
The Leprechaun is still hibernating. So,
okay.
I apologize for not tuning in more frequently. I've been incredibly busy at work.
Oh, here we go.
How dare you hide behind the Leprechaun with your take?
Good excuse.
All right, here we go. So here is why I think chicken wings are extremely overrated. Do they taste good? Yes. But you got to work.
No, you
way
don't.
too hard
No,
to
you
get just a
don't.
little
No, you
bit of
don't.
meat off of the wing.
What are you, a toddler that only eats the drums?
It's not crab legs. It's not like you're having to crack the crab leg open to get to the meat.
Yeah.
If you said that about crab legs, I'm with you.
I will go work for a crab leg. I love crab legs.
But you think
not
a
a
wing?
crawdad.
But you think a wing's more work than? What? This is the most
absolutely.
backwards. What are we doing here?
Yeah, chicken wings are way overrated. I
Oh,
don't mind the taste.
God.
I love chicken. You don't include me with the 6 people who don't like chicken. I love chicken. I just can't stand working for chicken wings.
You
It's
don't
not
work.
worth it.
You literally take the drumstick and there's meat all around the bone and you just eat the meat. I mean, it's not that. Now, I am a drumsticks over flats guy.
If you got a choice, yeah.
You're saying drumsticks too?
If you got a choice, but I mean, flats are amazing too.
They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have your opinion. I have mine. That's okay.
And yours is dumb.
Agent,
Yours is dumb.
Before we let you go,
Hold up.
yeah.
Cocky Piddly Who was not that good. So
Ooh. A texter says Leprechaun probably thinks boneless wings are wings.
no, I hate boneless wings. Those are a joke.
No such
Those are
thing as a
chicken
boneless
nuggets.
wing.
Those are
Yeah,
chicken
I've
nuggets.
never seen a chicken with a boneless wing in my life. Never have. Have you seen one?
KFC hadn't even figured that one out yet.
I agree with you, texter. Thanks
All
for the
right.
call,
Thank you,
agent.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Good stuff. And the worst take of 2026, chicken wings are overrated, says
Leprechaun's
his
agent.
agent. Sorry, about the
Leprechaun's
leprechaun.
agent,
Yes,
yeah.
says the agent. How about that? What
Yeah.
a take there.
Tom, what's the best chicken wing in Somerville?
Well, not homemade. There's a place over in Carnes Crossing. I think the restaurant is Miller's at Carnes, over closer to the Goose Creek side. But they have, and at least between Somerville, Goose Creek area. I'm not including Charleston in this, but they have the best wings because they're crispy, but they're not burned, if that makes sense. When you bite into them, you still get a little bit of a crunch on the skin. They're not breaded because breaded wings are not wings. They're good. They're big wings, but they're not juiced with hormones, and they're not little wings like pigeon wings. There's a couple places down here that claim they have good wings, but this is where I would defend Leprechaun's agent, is if they're little wings, well then you got to work for a little bit of meat.
Just
and
eat
that's
more.
The crab leg comparison.
Eat more
But-
wings.
Yeah, well, that too, you do get to eat more of them. But anybody who says you got to work for chicken wings, only way I'm buying that excuse is if you got no arms. If you got no arms, you can say you got to work for chicken wings.
God, there's probably somebody with no arms listening right now, Tom.
But it's the truth. If you ain't got hands or arms, then at that point, it's difficult to eat chicken wings or much less any kind
That's
of chicken.
fair.
If you got two working good hands, there's a lot more things complicated or harder than eating chicken wings.
Hey Tom,
Oh,
can you handle hot wings, or is Cocky for a reason more of a man than you?
Here's my thing. I do like a little spice on the wing. I like a buffalo wing here and there. I like a Terry hot wing here and there with a good amount of red pepper flakes. But the people that want to go eat the hottest wings, that's just stupid,
I
in my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah.
Because that takes away from
The
from
fun.
the enjoyment of eating a wing.
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
It's like a Johnny Cash song, "Burning Ring of Fire."
Yeah, I do like a little spice, though. You got to have a little spice.
Little bit.
Don't want to be boring.
A little bit. Tom, you're the man. Appreciate you.
Good stuff, Tom.
I do agree with him on the breaded wings. I'm not a fan of breaded wings. If you want breaded wings or breaded tenders or whatever, it's just different. Like a breaded wing, if we go to get wings right now and I'm served a breaded wing, nah.
I couldn't tell you when the last time was that I had a breaded wing.
Nah, not
No.
for me. I don't
No.
want to. I mean, that's fried chicken. It's
Yeah.
fried chicken. I mean, that's not a wing.
I'm going to give you a place, Cole, right here next to the radio station that I've been to a lot of different places, got a lot of different wings here in the upstate. No, it's not the one across the street
I
with the
thought you were
word
gonna say the
wings in the
dentist.
title. No, the best chicken wings that I've found in Greenville, near the radio station, especially over here at Brick's Pizza. Bricks Pizza has amazing
Only
chicken
problem
wings.
with that is, though, if I go to Bricks Pizza, I got to get pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza,
Well, why can't you get both?
I could. I will say this. I'm with Cocky for a reason. I'll give you my best wings, my favorite wings in the upstate.
Mm-hmm.
I like the smoked wings. Do I like fried wings? Like, yeah, I'll eat any wings. I eat Zaxby's wings all the time. I think they're fine. They're good. They're fried. No problem. But smoked wings, like he said, they hit different.
Yeah.
Local Q's got great wings here in Greenville.
You could do both. You could fry it and smoke.
You could. You can. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I love, they're a sponsor of ours for Burns football and basketball, Diesel. I love a place in Chesney. Southern Fusion Barbecue in Chesney has smoked wings. And I think they're probably I know they're the best wings I've had. I love a smoked wing. The flavor, the smoke flavor, there's just something about it, man.
See, I have an opinion that the best wings typically don't come from the places that have like wings in the name of the restaurant.
And see, that's the same thing with the barbecue place. They're barbecue, but they have great wings.
Most of those places, they just buy bulk wings. They're not the best you could possibly get. They buy them because they're at a great price, but they're not the best wings because you can't sell the huge, as Tom said, juiced up. You can't sell those and sell like 5,000 of them a day. It's just too expensive running a restaurant like that. So I get why the wing restaurants sell what they sell, but those are not the best wings.
I'll say the last thing before we go back to the phone lines. I very rarely met a wing I didn't like. Whether it's Wingstop, Zaxby's, like I'm not biased to it. I love wings. So I'll eat any wings. Smoked wings, though, top tier. Top tier.
Well, it's the extra effort. You can taste it.
It is. Dan B. Look at Dan B. He's rolling in. You called him out, and now he's on the phone line.
Hey,
you woke him up.
Well, I didn't have anything to talk about. So you guys bring up wings and what's the best wing?
You have nothing to talk about. I mean, my gosh, are you kidding me?
Also, I'll start for the back end for what you just said about smoked. Yes, smoked wings are the best. The best smoked wings that I have are the ones that I make.
Oh.
You get them from the butcher place on, I think it's East Main. I won't say their name, but it's over on that side. There's a butcher shop that sells lots of great stuff. Their wings are huge. And then I make a homemade rub to let them sit overnight, and then they get smoked, and then you can add whatever sauce and flavorings, dip whatever you want. But yeah, smoked wings, 100% the best.
Guess we're all coming back over to your house, Dan.
Yeah. When it comes to restaurant wings, that's the silly part about boneless wings are somehow cheaper than bone-in wings, but wasn't more involved to even make the thing a thing. That's why boneless wings.
It's just a chicken tender cut into pieces.
Yeah, it's processed chicken.
A big nugget.
Purposes. Yeah, it's just a big nugget.
Dewey's.
So,
that's Dewey's old nickname, by the way. Big nugget.
Now, I'm a flats fan over the drum, but I mean, I guess people think one way or another. Yeah. You only need one hand to eat a wing. So I will say that you don't have to have two.
Makes it easier with two, though.
Well, Dan, I know the technique to eat a flat with one hand. Is that how you do it?
Oh, I mean, I know I'm not the guy that'll I can't pull all of the meat on, and then all I'm left with is bone. I won't eat a wing like that. I can't. I don't understand how people do that. There's still enough fat and gristle on the wings that I'm not eating. I don't go for that. So, but no, I'm just comparing that to crabs. Like you can't prepare crabs with one hand. That'd be very different. I guess.
Yeah, and crab, the meat is inside of the shell.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing. I mean, wings, it's so easy. That's leprechaun of Lyman's agent. I mean, that's dumb as taking the word.
But if you get the right crab leg, you crack it open, and you get like a long piece of crab meat.
I know, but you still got to crack it. Wings, bite it easy. Wings are easy.
Yeah. And then as far as hot wings, I don't like them obviously too hot. I mean, if you eat one wing and then you're just like, miserable. I'm on fire. Like that's
not fun.
That's overkill. But yeah, I like 3 or 4 wings and then be like, oh, you know what? Now I need to take a second, drink a beer, whatever, and then move, get back to it once it subsides. I also have many of those hot ones sauces up in my cabinet. I don't remember if you remember Diesel.
Oh, I remember.
And we made a certain person cry, giving them the hottest one I had at the time. So that was fun.
Dan, thanks for the call, man.
Thanks, Dan. He's talking about the former host on the station. We gave him a chicken wing with beyond insanity on it.
Oh, it's hot. That's hot. I don't enjoy. I just don't enjoy the hot stuff. You know, lately I've been on that easy, just basic wing kick, like the hot honey mustard's a good one. I like the honey barbecue. Honey barbecue. That's a real good one. I'm a very basic flavored guy when it comes to wings.
I know there's some people that won't eat dry rub wings, which is ridiculous because I love a dry rub.
Dry rub's
it's
great.
so good.
When I get wings out, I usually get half dry, half wet rub. That's just the best of both worlds, man. Get a little bit of both.
These text lines
are kind of
unbelievable.
Right now. It's kind of weird right now.
Unbelievable. Texter says,
where do you start?
What kind of white sauce? We're not going to finish that line of texts there. Texter says, Leprechaun probably thinks boneless wings are wings. Texter Shane Barrett says, drums over flats all day. Now I want chicken wings. Well, Shane Barrett, guess what? This is a civilized country. You can go get chicken wings. You can drive probably 10 miles in any direction from you and find chicken wings.
Oh, easy.
I can promise you that. Texter says, a lot of folks probably can't cook good wings at home because they don't blanch them. You basically cook them till almost done in the oven, then fry them. Another texter here says, holy crap, I'm cackling at Tom. He was talking about pigeon wings, if the wings are too small. Texter says, good call on the Terry hot wings, Tom. Those are my favorite. Texter says, Tom loves working for the meat. Okay, we're going to stop reading that texter's messages.
There's some stupidity on the text line right now.
Buffalo Wild Wings in Spartanburg says, those are the best. Are those the best wings in Spartanburg, Cole? Buffalo Wild Wings?
They're not my favorite, and best is subjective, right? But I will say, I mean, again, going back to what I said a minute ago, I'll eat any wings. It doesn't matter if it's Buffalo, Wingstop, Zaxby's. I'll eat any of them. I like them all.
That's true.
Any of them, baby.
And last one off the text line here says, I love eating crabs. Don't like getting crabs. Oh God. Dear God.
Yeah. It's one of those things like crab legs are one of my favorite foods. You don't eat them near as much. Number one, because we don't live on the coast.
They're
Number two,
expensive.
High, a little bit of work. But wings, man, they're just so convenient. You know, they're just convenient.
Wings are a food of the people.
They are. Now, you can't eat them going down the road. Not like that kind of convenient. But
my wife does.
While driving?
Oh, yeah.
OMG.
Yeah. Oh, she does.
OMG.
She loves
That's
wings.
talent.
Yeah,
that's talent.
I'm putting chicken wings on the grill when I get home tonight.
See, I love them. I do love them. And I probably ate wings like 2 days ago. But now that it's National Chicken Wing Day, what flavor, if you placed an order right now, what flavor would you order?
It would be.
You get 10, you get 5 and 5.
Oh, it would probably be probably Thai chili.
I've had it.
I get Thai chili. I'd get like a teriyaki.
I like teriyaki.
And mango
sometimes.
habanero.
I like that. That's a good one. I'll tell you what, I'm basic. I like lemon pepper a lot. I love lemon
Can't
pepper.
go wrong.
Dry rub, lemon pepper's hard to beat, man. And, you know, any kind of basic barbecue stuff's good, too. I mean, some places barbecue sauce is better than others. But going back to what Cocky said, that Alabama white sauce at Local Q, man, I don't know. It's tough to beat.
Bigger hot take. Leprechaun of Lyman saying that wings are too much work and they're overrated. Or me saying, I don't like buffalo sauce. I don't like buffalo sauce.
I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it.
Like, it's the number one most popular chicken wing flavor in America, according to wingaddicts.com.
I believe that, yeah.
I get it. But to me, as far as my favorite flavors, buffalo probably doesn't even crack the top 6.
No. It's not on my top 10, maybe. I mean, really. You know who has a lot of good chicken wings, though? Like Chinese restaurants have good chicken wings.
Yeah, they do.
I've had them.
Yeah, they do.
Again,
you wouldn't expect it.
Never met a chicken wing I didn't like, though. Final segment, hour 3 next. Cole, tomorrow, I am so fascinated by what you are doing tomorrow to see how the turnout is. You are playing Birdies with Beamer tomorrow. It is the annual golf tournament that South Carolina puts on where you get to play golf with the Gamecock coaches, and you also get to talk to Beamer and some of the assistant coaches, gather some audio after the rounds if you are still okay with showing your face after your play, right? That's the the important part.
If I haven't passed out from the heats.
That's true, too.
It's going to be warm in Blythewood tomorrow.
There's no doubt. It's going to be very, very warm. It's been warm here all week. Your pairing, please. You are paired with, do you have the results here? Drum roll. Ready?
Right here. Chase Justice, WYFF4.
Didn't we just have him on the show?
We just did. They must have heard. Harrison Crawford, also of WYFF. And Bob Gillespie at SC.
Solid.
He's like SC or at Golf SC. Love
Solid.
Bob. I've had Bob on the show one time when you were out on vacation or out sick one day. Bob came on and we talked about the major golf tournament that had just happened. And I see Bob every year out at ACC kickoff. So
very solid.
Just saw him.
I like that a lot. Very, very solid pairings there. Just don't finish last and you're fine. Is it a best ball? Do you know? Did they say?
Best ball.
Best ball.
And
shotgun start or what?
Shotgun start. We'll start on hole 5.
Have you researched the course?
Not at all. Not one bit. We're gonna try to get down there early enough to hit a bucket of balls before the tournament starts because I gotta get limbered up.
Yeah, you do. You need to go.
Otherwise, I'll be really bad.
You need to spend 30, 40 minutes on the range.
Always.
You know?
I have a process. I get out there.
You sound like Bryson.
Gotta stretch out a little bit.
Here you go, Bryson.
I gotta hit a bucket of balls. I gotta spend at least 30 minutes doing that. I don't like spending any more than that. Because if you do more than that, you get in your own head.
Yeah.
So hit a bucket of balls, small bucket, go over to the chipping range and the putting green, putt around a little bit, try to get used to the pace of the greens.
Yeah.
And then you go out and play. And play badly.
I love it. I cannot wait to hear how you did. I really cannot wait. I don't know what to expect. I'm glad you're going because I don't play golf and I don't get to go talk to Beamer, but like we do Dabo because Carolina does the golf thing, which is cool. But I don't think you'll be the worst one out there.
No, I got a text earlier from Chase Justice, and he said, how good of a golfer are you? Because he's like, I'm not very good, and I don't want to be embarrassed out there.
That's your perfect pairing right there. That's when you know you're paired with the right person.
My goal, Cole, to me, it's a good day. Yep. And again, this is if I'm being truthful, really, really truthful with my scores. I want to shoot in the 90s, and I want to lose less than 6 golf balls.
If you shoot in the 90s, good day.
Yeah.
Good day.
Yeah. So that's my goal.
I like it.
Just don't suck,
Just don't suck. That's a good motto right there.
Besides, somebody told me that Sterling Sharp is an excellent golfer, and his pairing always wins.
He is.
He's paired with Harold Green, Jones Andrews, and Will Andrews.
Yeah.
I don't know those guys.
Yeah, they are the ones that usually win it. That's what they say.
But hey, we're going based off of our handicap, so we can be 15 over and still be par.
I like it.
If we're an average handicap.
Birdies with Beamer and Diesel.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Tolos, when we come back, let's jump into a conversation that we had earlier in the show. We led with this to start off the show, so let's get right back into it, Cole. We were talking about Big Ten Media Days, about Lincoln Riley, Luke Fickell going after John Summerall for something he likes to partake in over the course of the season. We'll get into that next.